Well, a terrific rendition of the national anthem. We're just moments away from the first pitch here in Game 4 of this 4-game series between the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs and the Staten Island FerryHawks. Austin Rooney, happy to have you with us this evening as the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs have a magic number of just 4 to clinch a playoff spot by winning the first half in the North Division. Well, the Blue Crabs will turn to Mackenzie Mills in Game 4 of this series. Mills has a starter leading ERA, the best ERA among starters in the Blue Crabs, at 3.72. But it's his last 2 starts that have really stood out. He's gone 15 innings in those last 2 starts, allowing just 2 earned runs, 2 walks, and 8 hits. A batting average against in the month of June of 154. We'll have to see if the big 6'5" lefty can keep the winning ways going against the FerryHawks. Well, the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs come into this one with a 37-12 record above the 750 mark in winning percentage. A 13-game lead over second place Long Island. So a magic number of 6. What does that mean? It means that there have to be a total of 6 wins and Ducks losses. So it could be either one of those. So 3 wins for the Blue Crabs and 3 Ducks losses would be enough for the Blue Crabs to clinch a playoff spot. It could happen as early as Saturday with 3 consecutive Blue Crabs wins and 3 consecutive Ducks losses. Now the Blue Crabs are going to face off against the following lineup for the Staten Island FerryHawks is Antoine Duplantis, followed by Javier Betancourt. Angel Aguilar bats third. It's Dilson Herrera in the cleanup spot. He plays first base. Alfredo Reyes at short. He bats fifth. Mario Bautista bats sixth. It's Joseph Monhay who bats seventh. Brian Martinez in the 8th spot. And Kelsey Whitmore, who's making her first appearance of the series. She's in the 9th spot. The lefty-lefty matchup. First pitch on Antoine Duplantis is low and away. And the count 1 ball and no strikes. We're underway at Regency Furniture Stadium on a cloudy Thursday evening. There was rain in the forecast earlier. It was supposed to thunderstorm. It said 90% chance of heavy thunderstorms as the 1-0 pitch is low and away again. The count 2 balls and no strikes on Antoine Duplantis. But somehow the rain held off, and here we are playing baseball between the FerryHawks and the Blue Crabs. We did have about a 30-minute delay in anticipation of the rain, though it never came. 2-0 off the outside corner, and the count 2 balls and 1 strike on Antoine Duplantis. Duplantis off to a strong start with the FerryHawks. Had 3 hits in game 1 of the series. 2-1 pitch. That's away. And the count 3 balls and 1 strike on Antoine Duplantis. Was hitting just .229 with the Mets minor league system. 3-1 pitch. Called strike. Count 3 balls and 2 strikes. His father, Greg, a former All-American pole vaulter. His mother, Helena, competed in the heptathlon and volleyball. His brother, a world champion and gold medal pole vaulting. Track and field in the family history. 3-2 pitch, line drive, deep right field. Braxton Lee gives chase, and he tracks it down in the corner. Oh, a terrific play by Braxton Lee, running in toward the corner in right field and making the catch for the first out. Well, quickly, there is 1 away in the top of the first inning. As always, if you'd like a shout-out in today's ball game, just write a comment in the YouTube chat. We'll be sure to get to it. We'll have our trivia question in the top of the 4th inning, as always. And again, you're going to have to write your answer in the YouTube chat. This is a tricky one today. First pitch, called strike on the outside half. And the count, no balls and 1 strike now on the second batter in the order, Javier Betancourt. 0-1, foul back, count no balls and 2 strikes on Betancourt. Javier Betancourt out of Venezuela, Spent 6 years with the Detroit Tigers system. Last year hit .237 with 5 home runs and 22 RBIs in the Frontier League. The 0-2 pitch, wave and a miss. A breaking ball low and in on the right-handed hitter Javier Betancourt, who goes down swinging, and there are 2 away. 2 up and 2 down from Mackenzie Mills. And here comes Angel Aguilar. Aguilar spent 8 years in the New York Yankees system, hitting .238, made it as high as Double-A with Trenton. And he played there in 2019. Blue Crabs coming having won 4 straight. The first pitch from Mackenzie Mills is low and in for ball 1 on Aguilar. Southern Maryland won the final game against Charleston on Sunday. 1-0 pitch. Line drive foul behind home plate. Count 1 ball and 1 strike now. After winning the final game against Charleston, the Blue Crabs won game 1 against the FerryHawks 8-3. And following the game against the FerryHawks, they had a doubleheader on Tuesday. The Blue Crabs won 3-2 and 4-3 on a pair of walk-offs, a walk-off home run and a walk-off single. 1-1. Foul away yet again, this time to the first base side over the dugout and out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. It's the big 6'5" Mackenzie Mills against the 6 foot, 170-pound Angel Aguilar. Mills has 85 pounds on him as well. 1-2 pitch from Mills. Ground ball over to third. Fielded on the forehand by Crosby. The throw across the diamond routine. It's in time for the final out as the FerryHawks go down in order. 1-2-3. A strong inning from Mackenzie Mills. We go to the bottom of the first. It's the FerryHawks nothing and the Blue Crabs coming to bat when we come back.
This is Patrick Baker, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
When you need a win on the road, don't get left stranded. Make AAA part of your roster, and you'll always have someone on deck ready to get you home. AAA also offers car care, insurance, and travel services, and has stores conveniently located for Blue Crabs fans in Brandywine, Crofton, and Alexandria. Don't forget to ask them about membership discounts for military and first responders. Please visit AAA.com to learn more or to find a AAA location near you.
Well, let's bring you around the Blue Crabs batting order as they come to the bat in the bottom of the first inning against Dakota Freeze, the starter for the Staten Island FerryHawks. The Blue Crabs have Jack Sundberg playing in his 3rd consecutive game. He leads off for Southern Maryland. He's in left field. It's Michael Wolanski who bats second. He's at second base. Batting third, it's the first baseman, Jared Walker. The cleanup hitter is the designated hitter today. That's David Harris. Batting fifth, it's Alex Crosby. The 6th hitter plays center field. That's Zach Collier. Batting 7th, it's a strong-armed right fielder, Braxton Lee. Batting 8th, it's the catcher, Joe DeLuca. And the 9th hitter is Michael Baca. The first pitch from Dakota Freeze is on the inside corner for a called strike. And the count, no balls in 1 strike on Jack Sundberg. In the top of the first inning, the FerryHawks were sent down in order. We'll bring you around the FerryHawks defensive alignment after this pitch. 0-1 pitch, line drive, a screamer to the left side foul. Just above the Blue Crabs bullpen, and the count, no balls and 2 strikes. No balls, 2 strikes, no outs. Bottom of the first inning. Here is the 0-2. A little bit upstairs. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, now let's bring you around that diamond. Is Kelsey Whitmore playing in her first game of the series for the Staten Island FerryHawks. The only female player that's currently in professional baseball. She's out in left. Antoine Duplantis is in center. Mariel Bautista in right. The 1-2 pitch, fouled off yet again. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. In the infield, it is Angel Aguilar at third, Alfredo Reyes at short, Javier Betancourt at second, and Dilson Herrera at first base. 1-2 pitch. Line drive foul yet again up toward the Legends Club, where it's unlimited beer and wings night, presented to you by Foster's Grill. Behind the plate, it is Brian Martinez who's doing the catching for Dakota Freeze. Well, Freeze doesn't have a winning record because it's hard to have a winning record when you play for the FerryHawks. He's 1-2, but he has a 1.91 ERA. In his last outing, 5 innings, 1 hit, 1 run. He did walk 5. 1-2 pitch, a little bit up and away. Count 2 balls and no strikes. Or 2 balls and 2 strikes, I should say. 1 out, or nobody out. I'm getting my outs and strikes and balls confused here. I beg your pardon. Bottom of the first inning, there's no score between the Blue Crabs and the FerryHawks. Freeze is set. Chest tie. Big leg kick, the offering. That's low. Count 3 balls and 2 strikes as Jack Sundberg works a marathon at bat against Dakota Freeze. We'll bring you through the 3 hitters to hit in just a couple of moments here in the first inning. 3-2 pitch upcoming to Jack Sundberg. That's low and in, and actually gets away from the catcher, Brian Martinez. Sundberg's not headed to second, though. He just walks over toward first. And the leadoff runner on for the Blue Crabs.
Now batting, the shortstop, number 12, Michael Wolanski.
And here comes Michael Wolanski. Well, Jack Sundberg had a really good game yesterday. He was 4 for 6. And Wolanski was 2 for 4 in yesterday's game. He had 2 RBIs, including the game-winning single up the middle. Since joining the Blue Crabs, he's hitting upwards of 350. Here is the first pitch. That's up and in. Count 1 ball and no strikes on Wolanski. Well, a long at bat worked from Jack Sundberg. And now the Blue Crabs have the first base runner of this ball game. We mentioned already that Dakota Freeze has some issues with control. Walked 5 batters across 5 innings in his last outing. Just 1 hit. 1-0 offering. Line drive. First base side. Down the line. This ball is a fair ball into the right field corner. Sundberg rounds third. He's going to score. It's Wolanski into third with a stand-up triple. An RBI triple from Michael Wolanski, who continues to hit the ball extraordinarily well. And the Blue Crabs have the first run of this ball game on an RBI down the right field line that just kept on carrying and stayed in fair territory the whole way. And the Blue Crabs have a 1-0 lead. That brings up Jared Walker. Walker will be followed by David Harris and Alex Crosby. Dakota Freeze on the mound for the FerryHawks. Freeze is set after the Blue Crabs have scored the first run of this ball game. First pitch, line drive. It's right at the second baseman, Betancourt, who fields it on the fly for a line out. Well, quickly now 1 out following the RBI triple.
Now batting, the designated hitter, number 14, David.
Well, after Dakota Freeze went 5 innings, allowing no earned runs, just 1 run on 1 hit in his last outing. He's gone just 1/3 of an inning so far, allowed 1 run already, including an RBI triple. The infield is in for the FerryHawks. Interesting move as early as the first inning, but they want to prevent runs. And the first pitch, a breaking ball, and Harris swings over it. The count 0-1 on the right-handed hitter. 1-0 Blue Crabs in the bottom of the first inning. Count no balls and 1 strike with 1 out. The pitch, that's low and away. Gets away from the catcher. Martinez coming home to score from third. Wolanski, it's a 2-0 Blue Crabs lead on a wild pitch from Dakota Freeze. The Southern Maryland Blue Crabs with 2 runs in the bottom of the first inning. This is a team that scored early yesterday when they scored, had a lot of trouble producing in the middle innings. In the 4-3 win, the Blue Crabs actually had scored 3 runs in the first 2 innings. And in their 3-2 win, they scored 1 run in the first inning. But it was innings 3 through 6 when they really struggled to produce. 0-1 pitch. That's low. I beg your pardon, the 1-1 pitch. Down the count 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. With 1 out. The 2-1 pitch, foul back behind home plate, and the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Jack Sundberg led off with a walk. It was Mike Wolanski who ripped a triple down the right field line, scoring Sundberg, giving the Blue Crabs a 1-0 lead. From there, Jared Walker lined out to second, and Wolanski scored on a wild pitch. The 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss on a pitch in the dirt. Harris jogs it out toward first. The throw to first from the catcher, Brian Martinez, is in time. And there are 2 away.
Now batting, the third baseman, number 15, Alex Crosby.
Brings up Alex Crosby to the plate. Alex Crosby with a hit in both games 1 and game 2 of the doubleheader. He has a 6-game hitting streak going right now. Michael Wolanski extended his team-long 11 or 10-game hit streak. Now it's an 11-game hit streak. And the first pitch is away. Count 1 ball and no strikes. Michael Wolanski has an 11-game hit streak since the start of June, where his batting average is north of 350. First pitch to Alex Crosby, a breaking ball that falls thigh high in the count 0-1. No balls, 1 strike with 2 outs. It's 2-0 Blue Crabs in the bottom of the first. Freeze, the 0-1, way away. And it skips out of the mitt of Brian Martinez. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. Or 2 balls and 1 strike, I should say, on Crosby. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. In the bottom of the first inning. Blue Crabs with 2 runs on 1 hit and a walk. 2-1 pitch, line drive. Another terrific play by Javier Betancourt, who snags it to end the first inning. Made an athletic play going down, fielding that ball right about knee level as he reached out with the left hand to make the catch for the final out. Well, the Blue Crabs strand none. They score 2 at the end of 1 inning of play. It's the Blue Crabs who have a 2-0 lead over the FerryHawks. Don't go anywhere. We go to the top of the second inning. It is the Blue Crabs who have a 2-0 lead over the FerryHawks. First pitch on the cleanup hitter, Dilson Herrera, misses a little bit low and in. The count, 1 ball and no strikes on the righty. One-0, line drive towards center field. It's a base hit as it bounces once in front of the center fielder, Zach Collier. And there's one on to get things started in the bottom of the first inning. It brings up Alfredo Reyes, the first hit of the day for the FerryHawks on a line drive right back up the middle. There's one on with nobody out for the FerryHawks. We're glad you've decided to join us. The first pitch to Reyes is low, and the count 1 ball and no strikes. As Joe DeLuca, not a big fan of that ball, he tosses it over toward the dugout. Mackenzie Mills gets a sign from his catcher, Joe DeLuca. Here's the pitch. Chopper over to the third base side. Fielded high by Crosby. It's thrown to second for one. Back on to first. Not quite in time. Oh, they got him. Oh, they called him out at first base. Alfredo Reyes thrown out on a 5-4-3 double play. Looked from our angle up top like he might have been safe, but called out at first base. It's a 5-4-3 double play, and there are 2 away in the top of the second. Wow. Well, that dampers any sort of new life that the FerryHawks were looking for here in the top of the second inning. After surrendering 2 runs in the bottom of the first inning, a 5-4-3 double play ball, and there are 2 away in the top of the second. First pitch to Mario Bautista. Big wave and a miss. And the count 0-1. 0-1 pitch. That's up and away. Count 1 ball and 1 strike now on Mario Bautista. Blue Crabs going for their 5th consecutive win. They've got a magic number of 5, which means, or a magic number of 6, I should say, which means they need a total of 6 either wins or Ducks losses. As the 1-1 pitch is swung on and foul back. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes on Bautista. Mackenzie Mills went 8 innings in his last start, allowed 5 hits, no runs, no walks. He struck out 5. 2-2 pitch, a little bit upstairs, count 2-2 on Bautista. It's the second inning. Blue Crabs have a 2-0 lead. The count 2 balls, 2 strikes, and there are 2 away. Here's Mills, the pitch. Popped him up, foul behind home plate. The count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, base paths are empty here in the top of the second. The Blue Crabs looking for back-to-back 1-2-3 innings. This one would be less conventional, though, as it included a single and a double play ball. Count 2-2. Here's the pitch. High fly ball, center field. Not too difficult for Collier, who takes a few steps in and a few steps towards right field and makes the catch for the final out. Well, that ends the top of the second inning. The Blue Crabs still lead 2-0 over the FerryHawks. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Blue Crabs Baseball on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Daryl Thompson, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Chick-fil-A of Charles County has been a proud supporter of the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs since their inception in 2008. For years, they have sponsored the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs, America's prisoners of war and missing in action. In between the second inning of each game, there is a moment of silence brought to you by Chick-fil-A. The Southern Maryland Blue Crabs appreciate and respect not only Chick-fil-A, but all of those that have served our great country. The seat that they sponsor was made possible by Chick-fil-A of Charles County. Thank you so much, and visit any of your Charles County Chick-fil-A locations today.
The first pitch to Zach Collier, a called strike on the inside corner in the bottom of the second inning. It's the Blue Crabs who have a 2-0 lead over the FerryHawks. Southern Maryland will send 6, 7, and 8 to the plate. Will be Collier, followed by the 7-hitter Lee and the 8-hitter DeLuca. 0-1 pitch, a little bit low in the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. The Blue Crabs scored 2 runs back in the first inning. Here is the 1-1 pitch. Low and in, count 2 balls and 1 strike. Two balls, 1 strike, no outs on Zach Collier. Freeze. Set of the belt. Here's the 2-1 offering. That's up and away. Count 3 balls and 1 strike. After a first pitch strike, Freeze has thrown 3 consecutive balls. Control's been a bit of an issue for the righty so far. 12 strikes and 12 balls for Dakota Freeze. Sundberg who reached on a walk. Michael Wolanski, who hit a triple to right field and came around to score on a walk. This one swinging a line drive down the right field line. If it's fair, it's gone, and it tails foul. Very well hit by Zach Collier. Got all of that ball toward right field, but it tailed foul toward the end. Not as hard hit of a ball as we've seen all day. Count 3 balls and 2 strikes now on Collier. Here's the pitch. Low and in. Collier had to move his back left foot to get out of the way of that ball. And there's a runner on first base with nobody out. Well, it is Braxton Lee, who bats 7th for the Blue Crabs. The lone Blue Crabs batter with Major League experience, played with the Marlins and had 18 at-bats with Miami. Now, Braxton Lee has a unique batting stance. I find it similar to Stephen Drew. Major League Baseball fans may remember Stephen Drew, who played for quite a few teams, most of which were in the National League, though he did briefly play in the American League, some time with the Diamondbacks and the Cardinals. And it's pretty much straight up, not much bend of the knee, if any. As the first pitch is away, he shows bunt and pulls back in the count, 1 ball and no strikes. And his feet are very close together. There's nearly no separation between his feet. And then once he sees the ball and he steps into his windup, then he moves that front right foot forward and bends his knees as well. The 1-0 pitch is low and in, count 2-0. There really are quite a few moving parts because he's completely straight up, no bend at the knees, and then he bends the knees and steps at the same time. Either way, it's the Blue Crabs who have a 2-0 lead. Braxton Lee on the year hitting .288. 2 balls, no strikes. No outs. With Collier leading off first. 2-0, swinging a ground ball over toward shortstop on to second for one. Back on to first. It's a double play. They go 6-4-3, and there are 2 away in the second inning. It brings up Joe DeLuca.
Now batting, the catcher, number 10, Joe DeLuca.
Joe DeLuca, who's been the first baseman and the catcher for the Blue Crabs at times this year. Right now with Ryan Haug out of the lineup. Joe DeLuca's been the catcher. Joe DeLuca went through the proper tests. He should be, or I beg your pardon, Ryan Haug went through the proper test. Haug should be okay after being hit in the jaw on a foul tip earlier in the series. First pitch, a little bit inside on DeLuca, and the count 1 ball and no strikes. Now there are 2 outs following the double play ball. Nobody on. DeLuca will be followed by Baca if necessary. DeLuca hit the game-winning 2-run home run from the right side of the plate. 1-0 pitch, that's in, count 2-0. Nobody on for Southern Maryland. Blue Crabs have had 3 base runners in this ball game, 2 walks and an RBI triple. Wolanski, who hit the triple back in the first, came around to score on a wild pitch. 1-0 or the 2-0 pitch, I should say, is upstairs and away. Count 3-0. Well, Dakota Freeze has been throwing low 90s, 91, 92. .30 pitch is low and in. And it's ball 4. Runner on first base and 2 outs. It brings up Michael Baca.
Number 3, Michael Baca.
1 on and 2 outs in the bottom of the second inning. Michael Baca has had a strong month of June. The right-handed hitter has seen his batting average jump from the 140s to 240 and hit 308 in this month. Well, 1 on and 2 outs. The pitch called strike at the knees, and the count no balls and 1 strike. One on and 2 outs for the Blue Crabs shortstop who bats 9th. 0-1. That's a called strike as well on the inner half, and the count no balls and 2 strikes. On the right-handed contact hitter, who's been playing much better baseball recently. Freeze with 2 outs in the second, looking to get Michael Baca. Pitch, line drive, left center field. Long run for the left fielder Whitmore, but she comes in and makes the catch for the final out. Kelsey Whitmore with the put out to end the bottom of the second inning. Oh, we're finished with 2 innings of play. It's the FerryHawks nothing. It's the Blue Crabs 2. Stick with us as we go to the top of the third. You're listening to Blue Crabs Baseball on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Matt Latos, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. This is Patrick Baker, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Leading off for the FerryHawks, the designated hitter number 20, Joseph Monhay.
Well, we go to the top of the third inning. The FerryHawks nothing and the Blue Crabs 2. As the FerryHawks will send 7, 8, and 9 in the order to the plate. Joseph Monhay, followed by Brian Martinez and Kelsey Whitmore. First pitch from Mackenzie Mills is up and away in the count, 1 ball and no strikes. Through 2 innings of work, Mills has allowed no runs on 1 hit. In his last start, he went 8 innings, allowing just 4 hits. He struck out 5, no runs. The 1-0 pitch in there for a called strike. And the count, 1 ball and 1 strike now. In the top of the third inning. This ball game started right around 7:05 p.m. 1-1 pitch, that's low and in. Count 2 balls and 1 strike. The normal start time for these games, of course, at 6:35. But due to impending rain that was in the forecast, a 90% chance of heavy thunderstorms at 6 and 7. This one chopped over toward third on the 2-1 pitch. It's Crosby who fires the first with plenty of time. And there's 1 away in the top of the third inning. Back to that previous point, though. There were a 90% chance of thunderstorms at 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. But somehow the thunderstorms split right before they hit Waldorf, Maryland, and went around us. Very kind to the thunderstorms. Didn't have to do that, but they did. Well, it's 2-0 Blue Crabs now in the third. The game was delayed as we thought they were coming to hit us. Here is the 8-hitter, Brian Martinez. First pitch called strike on Martinez as it clips the inside half. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out here in the top of the third. 0-1 pitch, big wave and a miss. Count 1 ball and no balls and 2 strikes in the top of the third. On deck, it's Kelsey Whitmore. The 0-2, that's upstairs. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Let's go back through the Blue Crabs' winning streak. They took the final game at Charleston, 15-5. That was their 34th win of the season. Blue Crabs picked up win number 35 on Tuesday, 8-3. 1-2 pitch low on the dirt. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the Blue Crabs had a doubleheader yesterday with the FerryHawks. Blue Crabs won game 1 3-2 on a walk-off 2-run homer from Joe DeLuca. And then won game 2 4-3 on a walk-off single from Wolanski. 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss on a breaking ball. It was low, it was out of the zone. And he gets Martinez chasing.
Now batting the left fielder, number 3.
There are 2 away now in the top of the third. Mackenzie Mills throwing 90-91. He'll touch 92 as well. Had a chance to talk with Mills after his last start, and he told me he really values trying to get that velocity up toward 94, 95, and it's been there at times in his career. First pitch to Kelsey Whitmore. A little bit low in the count, 1 ball and no strikes. Whitmore has 9 at-bats on the year. She does not have a hit yet. 1-0, line drive foul, first base side. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. Whitmore has scored 2 runs. She has walked twice. She's also a pitcher. She has struggled a bit on the mound as well. The 1-1 pitch, just a little bit away, and the count 2 balls and 1 strike now with 2 outs in the top of the third. Last time Whitmore played was back on the 12th as a 2-1 pitch. That's a little bit low and away. Count 3 balls and 1 strike. As Mackenzie Mills at risk of walking Kelsey Whitmore. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Ground ball, top foul, third base side. Off her left cleat. The count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Throughout the year, she's played about once a week. Last playing versus Long Island again on June 12th. The time prior was on June 5th. 3-2 pitch, called strike 3. A strikeout for Mackenzie Mills. It's his second strikeout of the day, or third strikeout of the day, I should say. Second strikeout of the inning. It's 9 up and 9 down for the big lefty. The Blue Crabs have a 2-0 lead as we're finished with 2.5. Blue Crabs coming to bat when we come back.
All Pawn is Southern Maryland's premier pawn shop and is the official pawn shop of the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. Stop by and say hello today. They've been a part of the Southern Maryland community for 18 years. If you need some cash to hold you over, or if you're just doing some spring cleaning and want to clear some stuff out, please bring it by All Pawn and let them make you an offer. If you have broken jewelry or some that you just don't want anymore, please bring it by, and they'll pay you more than anyone in the Tri-County area. They're located on 301 in White Plains, just south of DeMar Road. Go Blue Crabs!
Well, it's Jack Sundberg, the leadoff man in the order, who starts things in the bottom of the third. First pitch is way upstairs in the lefty. And the count, 1 ball and no strikes. The Blue Crabs have a 2-0 lead in the bottom of the third inning. It's Dakota Freeze on the mound for the Staten Island FerryHawks. It is a 2-0 lead for the Blue Crabs. They scored both runs back in the first inning as the 1-0 pitch runs way inside. The count, 2 balls and no strikes. It was Sundberg who led off the game with a walk. And Wolanski who followed him up with an RBI triple down the right field line. Freeze set. Here is the 2-0 pitch. Called strike on the outside corner. Count, 2 balls and 1 strike. Freeze has issued 3 walks already today as the 2-1 pitch is up and away. Count, 3 balls and 1 strike. Through 2 innings, Freeze has allowed 1 hit, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, and a strikeout. We alluded to the control issues for Freeze prior to today's game. He walked 5 batters in 5 innings in his last start. 3-1 pitch just on the outside edge. Count, 3-2. Freeze hasn't really been all that close to the zone when he's missed. Missed way up, missed way low. Was close to with 1 of his pitches. 3-2 offering now. Line drive towards center field. It's a base hit just past the outstretched reach of Alfredo Reyes, the shortstop, who reached out with his left hand and couldn't quite make the grab. And there's a runner on first base with nobody out. A single for Jack Sundberg to get things started in the third. As Michael Wolanski, the right-handed hitter, will dig in. Wolanski followed by Walker and Harris. It was Michael Wolanski who generated both runs. He drove in Jack Sundberg, and he scored on a wild pitch. Freeze is set. He tosses over to first to check on Sundberg, who dives in safely. Umpires today, Mike Mackey behind the plate, Jerry Burrish at first, and Jim Clayton at third. And again tossing over to check on him, and again diving in safely, Jack Sundberg, who's 14 for 16 in stolen bases. He picked up a stolen base in yesterday's ball game. Clouds overhead, overcast skies, rain was in the forecast. For now, things appear clear. Here's the first pitch finally to Wolanski. It comes up and in, gets away from the catcher Martinez, and advancing to second base standing up, Jack Sundberg. So you check on him twice to make sure he's not stealing, and then you give away the base for free on a wild pitch. Might end up going down as a pass ball, though. That was one that Martinez probably should have had. It was inside. Either way, it's Sundberg to second base. And they are going to call it a wild pitch against Dakota Freeze. 1 ball, no strikes, no outs. Runner on second base. The Blue Crabs looking to pick up an insurance run here in the third. On the 1-0 pitch, that's away. Count 2 balls and no strikes on Michael Wolanski, who's 1 for 1. He drove in a run on a triple down the right field line. The runner on second base. Freeze, the pitch. Line drive, deep right center field. It's Duplantis who gives way to the right fielder Bautista, who makes the catch. Sundberg thought about going, but a strong throw from Bautista to the shortstop Alfredo Reyes holds Sundberg at second base. Runner on second and 1 out in the bottom of the third.
Jared Walker.
And Jared Walker will come to the plate. Jared Walker has 10 home runs. It's tied for third in the Atlantic League. Courtney Hawkins is at the top of the Atlantic League. He's been battling things out with Kelly Dugan for the top of that home run list and the batting average list for that matter as well. A couple Blue Crabs in the conversation there too. Pickoff move. It's Sundberg who dives in safely, gets that right hand back to the bag in time. 1 out. As Walker still awaits the first pitch in the bottom of the third inning. Jared Walker, who played in the American Association in high A ball last year. A total of 18 home runs. Pitch, called strike. Outer half, and the count, no balls and 1 strike now on the big left-handed bat. Daryl Thompson in the dugout today as the pitching coach, as always. He'll get the start in tomorrow's ball game as the Blue Crabs take on the Barnstormers for 3 and then go on the road at Staten Island. As the 0-1 pitch is fouled back behind home plate. Count, no balls and 2 strikes in the top of the 4th. We're going to go to our trivia question. It's about Mickey Mantle. So look up your Mickey Mantle stats, your numbers. Go check out his baseball reference page. It's Mickey Mantle. That's who the trivia question will be about in the top of the 4th inning. It's Sundberg from second base. I'm not sure any Blue Crab or any Atlantic League player will be the next Mickey Mantle, but I guess you never know. Whole idea is get back to the big leagues. This one swinging a high fly ball down the right field line. If it's fair, it is gone. It is a home run. A 2-run shot from Jared Walker as the ball now comes back in play, but he has hit a home run. He's now stopping at third. Is this going to be called not a home run? That was definitely out of the ballpark. Well, for right now, Walker stands on third base, and he's pointing out toward the manager, Stan Clyburn, points out toward right field, and he says that ball was gone. And it did appear to hit that back chain link fence. And they're going to say it's a home run. The umpires converged, they met, and it is a 2-run home run from Jared Walker. It's his 11th home run of the season, and it is a 4-0 lead for the Blue Crabs. Jared Walker goes deep to right field on a 2-run home run. There was some controversy. Did it get out of the ballpark? Did it not? All the umpires in today's ball game, Mike Mackey along with Jerry Burrish and Jim Clayton, converge. Say it's out of here. So a 2-run home run after Wolanski flies out. And for the second time, it's Jack Sundberg who crosses home plate.
Now batting, the designated hitter, number 14.
He walked in the first, he singled in the third. And he's come around to score a pair of runs. Jared Walker, what really stands out is that OPS, which came into this game at 910. It's now 931 following the home run. And generally, if you're 750, it's right around average. Well, Walker's at 930. That's elite. First pitch, called strike. Inner half on David Harris, and the count 0-1. Again, we'll get to shout-outs and our trivia question in the fourth. 0-1 pitch, ground ball up the middle for a base hit. It's David Harris who puts one right back where it came from. And there's one on with one out in the third inning. The Blue Crabs have already scored two. A 2-run shot from Jared Walker right down the line. Blue Crabs 4. And the FerryHawks nothing. Well, the first pitch is a called strike on Jared Walker. I'll get to any of your comments in just a couple of moments. The 0-1 pitch, cut on, popped up toward left field. It's Kelsey Whitmore who drifts in a couple of steps and makes the catch. There are two away now in the third inning. And it brings Zach Collier to the plate.
Now batting, the center fielder, number 8, Zach Collier.
It's Canderson 4041 who says it's all you can eat beer and wings night. And Mr. Simon says yes, should have come out and gotten some wings, and I think he's right. We apologize for some of the bots that are in the YouTube chat. Try and take care of those. Runner on first base, 2 outs, bottom of the third inning. Dakota Freeze has now allowed 4 runs through 2 2/3. First pitch on Collier, a breaking ball for a called strike, and the count 0-1. Runner on first base with 2 outs. Inning started on a single from Jack Sundberg. 2 batters later, Jared Walker with a 2-run home run. Harris singled. Crosby popped one up toward left, and now it's Zach Collier, a 4-0 Blue Crabs lead, who takes a pitch off the outside corner. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. One ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Collier takes a couple of practice swings. It's Dakota Freeze set. Freeze the pitch. Big wave and a miss. Count 1 and 2. Breaking ball low and out of the zone, and Collier swung over it. Count 1 and 2 now on the lefty. So the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs close out the series against Staten Island today. If they could hold on to this 4-0 lead, that would be a 5th consecutive win for the Blue Crabs. Additionally, Blue Crabs would sweep the FerryHawks and move to 6-0 against Staten Island on the season. 1-2 pitch, low and in, count 2-2. Runner on first base with 2 outs. 2 in the inning for the Blue Crabs. They scored 2 in the first and 2 in the third. Count 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs for Collier. And now Collier calls time. He's got a very extended intro for his batting stance. Takes a number of practice swings. See if we can count. I think he did 4 that time, and then he spins his bat around. The 2-2 pitch, breaking ball, strike 3. It clips the outside corner. Collier with some words for Mike Mackey as he didn't think that was a called strike. Either way, it ends the 3rd inning. Blue Crabs with 2 runs in the bottom of the 3rd. They lead this one 4-0 at the end of 3. Stick with us on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
The Senators Baseball Organization is Southern Maryland's fastest growing youth elite.
When you need a win on the road, don't get left stranded. Make AAA part of your roster and you'll always have someone on deck ready to get you home. AAA also offers car care, insurance, and travel services and has stores conveniently located for Blue Crabs fans in Brandywine, Crofton, and Alexandria. Don't forget to ask them about membership discounts for military and first responders. Please visit AAA.com to learn more or to find a AAA location near you.
We are back in the top of the 4th inning. First pitch is a little bit low for ball 1 on Antoine Duplantis. The count, 1 ball and no strikes now on the leadoff hitter in their lineup who bats from the left side. It was a foul tip on that first pitch and a strike, and the count 0-1 as the call reversed from the home plate umpire Mike Mackey. The 0-1 pitch, big wave and a miss, count 0-2 now on Duplantis. Base paths are empty with no outs. 0-2 pitch, ground ball toward first base, fielded on the backhand by Walker, tossed toward Mills, throw is in time. Mills just beat Duplantis to the bag, a very close play. And there is 1 out in the top of the 4th.
Now batting the second baseman, number 7, Javier Betancourt.
A perfectly executed ground ball. It's fielded on the backhand by the first baseman Walker. The flip to first. There's 1 away. We are in the top of the fourth inning. The Blue Crabs lead it 4-0 over the FerryHawks. First pitch. That's low and away. Count 1 ball and no strikes. One ball, no strikes, 1 out. Here's the pitch. It's low and in. Count 2 balls and no strikes. Top of the fourth inning, the Blue Crabs scored 2 runs in the first. They added 2 more in the third. A couple of big hits have been the difference so far. The 2-0 pitch, ground ball foul. Third base side. Count 2 balls and 1 strike now. The pitch, that one is fouled off toward the first base side. And the pitch is low and in. Count 3 balls and 2 strikes. Well, Mackenzie Mills, it's been 10 up and 10 down for the lefty. Here's the pitch from Mills. Ground ball foul toward the third base side. Count 3 balls and 1 strike. Or 3 balls and 2 strikes, I should say. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. 4-0 Blue Crabs. And we have our trivia question for you today. We're going to have that right after this pitch on the 2-hitter, Javier Betancourt. Mills is set. Here's a 3-2. Big wave and a miss. Strike 3. For Mackenzie Mills, it's the 4th strikeout of the day. As Mackenzie Mills goes low and out of the zone, there are 2 outs in the top of the 4th as Angel Aguilar comes to the plate. Well, for Mackenzie Mills, he's allowed just 1 base runner today. It was Dilson Herrera who singled up the middle in the 2nd inning. But aside from that, it's been 11 up and 11 down from the lefty. 3 2/3 innings, he's thrown 48 pitches. Here is the first pitch, foul back, and the count no balls and 1 strike on Angel Aguilar. Aguilar grounded to third his first time up. And remember, Mackenzie Mills went 8 innings in his last start. No runs, 5 strikeouts, 4 hits. 0-1 pitch, that was close, called a little bit low and outside, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike on Aguilar. Base paths are empty with 2 outs. Top of the 4th inning. It's been all Blue Crabs so far. They lead at 4-0. Pitch, swinging a high fly ball. Left field rather deep. Sundberg back to the warning track at the wall. That ball is gone. On to the picnic deck. Over the mini monster in left field. It's a solo shot from Angel Aguilar. At many ballparks, it's a long fly out here at Regency Furniture Stadium. The wall a little bit in left field, and it's a solo shot over the mini monster. It's a 4-1 lead now for the Blue Crabs, as Angel Aguilar puts the FerryHawks on the board here in the top of the 4th. Well, up until this point, Mackenzie Mills had been really, really good. Had allowed no runs and just 1 hit on a single up the middle through 3 2/3. But here the bats have gotten to him. First pitch swinging now from Herrera. High pop up into shallow left. It is the left fielder Jack Sundberg who comes in maybe 30 feet from the infield grass and makes the catch for the final out. Well, the FerryHawks are now on the boards. It's 4-1 at the end of the top of the fourth inning. The Blue Crabs coming to bat when we come back on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
All Pawn is Southern Maryland's premier pawn shop and is the official pawn shop of the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. Stop by and say hello today. They've been a part of the Southern Maryland community for 18 years. If you need some cash to hold you over, or if you're just doing some spring cleaning and want to clear some stuff out, please bring it by All Pawn and let them make you an offer. If you have broken jewelry or some that you just don't want anymore, please bring it by and they'll pay you more than anyone in the Tri-County area. They're located on 301 in White Plains, just south of DeMar Road. Go Blue Crabs!
The first pitch to Braxton Lee is a called strike at the belt. And the count, no balls and one strike now on the 7-hitter for the Blue Crabs, who go 7, 8, and 9 here in the bottom of the fourth inning. The Blue Crabs lead at 4-1. And the pitch a little bit up and away. Count, 1 ball and 1 strike now. The Southern Maryland Blue Crabs have a 4-1 lead. They scored 2 in the first, 2 in the third, and allowed a solo home run on the top of the fourth. 1-1 pitch, high chopper to the first base side. It's fielded by Herrera. He'll step on the bag, and there is one away. 0 for 2 days so far for Lee, who grounded into a double play in the second and now grounds to first. It's Joe DeLuca who comes to the plate. Well, let's give you this Mickey Mantle trivia question. We'll write it in the YouTube chat as well. Well, Mickey Mantle played 18 MLB seasons. How many All-Star teams was he named to? Played 18 seasons. How many All-Star games was Mickey Mantle named to? First pitch to Joe DeLuca. On the outside corner, count, no balls and 1 strike. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out in the bottom of the fourth inning. Oh, 1 pitch. That one is low and in. Count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Joe DeLuca was 1 for 6 yesterday. The one hit was the most important hit of the day, though. A 2-run home run in the bottom of the 7th inning to walk it off to give the Blue Crabs a 3-2 win in Game 1. 1-1 pitch. That's away. Count, 2 balls and 1 strike. Again, the question, Mickey Mantle played in 18 Major League Baseball seasons. How many All-Star teams was he named to? That's our question. Don't look it up. Write your answers in the YouTube chat as the 2-1 pitch is a called strike on the outside corner on DeLuca. Count, 2 balls and 2 strikes on the big left-handed bat who is catching tonight. He's been the catcher and the designated hitter, but for now, or he's also played first base. For now, he's going to be catcher, I'd imagine, almost exclusively. 2-2 pitch. Low and in. Bounced up on Brian Martinez, the catcher who tried to play it on the backhand. Count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Well, Joe DeLuca has walked once already, one of 3 walks issued by Dakota Freeze. Or one of 3 walks, that's right. Freeze has allowed 4 runs on 4 hits and 3 walks. The 3-2 pitch popped up in foul territory. Count remains 3-2. A beautiful view overhead with the cloud formation in the sky. And this is something like out of a picture or a painting. I mean, it is really outstanding with the clouds above. I have to see if we can get a shot of that at some point after the at-bat. 3-2 pitch to DeLuca. Up and away, it's ball 4. Now let's see if we can get a picture of the sky up there in center field or overhead. It is, again, something like it's out of a painting. It's so incredible. Runner on first base and 1 out. As the sun sets on some of the longest days of the year here in June. On June 16th, sunset in Waldorf, Maryland today at 8:34 p.m. It's going to get hot tomorrow, high of 94 degrees, low of 71. First pitch is fouled off by Jack Sundberg in the count 0-1. Yeah, that's going to be awfully hot, probably a little bit sticky and humid, as is the case typically in Maryland in the summertime. For now, it's 77 degrees. As for tomorrow, there's no rain in the forecast for the rest of this homestand. 0-1 pitch. After Baca fouled off the first one, is up and in the count 1 ball and 1 strike, with 1 out in the bottom of the 4th inning. One ball, 1 out, 1 strike. DeLuca took a large lead, throw down to first from the catcher Martinez on a pitch low and away. Is a little bit offline in foul territory to the first base side. It was also high, forced Dilson Herrera to jump to keep possession of the ball. 2 balls and 1 strike in the bottom of the 4th inning. I beg your pardon, 1-2. The umpire just making sure to correct the scoreboard that had it at 2-1. One ball, 2 strikes. 1 out. Dakota Freeze here working with the bottom of the order as Jack Sundberg stands on deck. 1-2. Ground ball slowly hit first base side. Going to be a bit of a tough play. Freeze picks it up and tosses to first base. It's in time to get Baca, who is running well down that first base line. Runner on second base now with 2 outs. For DeLuca, a pair of walks. Brings Jack Sundberg to the plate. Sundberg will be followed by Michael Wolanski. The top of the order today has been the run producers. A single and a walk from Sundberg. He scored twice. For Wolanski, an RBI triple. And Jared Walker, a 2-run home run. Bottom of the 4th inning, a 4-1 lead for the Blue Crabs. Dakota Freeze picks up the leg and steps off as he looks DeLuca back to the bag. Can tell you DeLuca's not going to be trying to steal here with 2 outs. It's a rare play to begin with to steal third. You're already in scoring position, doesn't do him much good. First pitch to Jack Sundberg's away. Count 1 ball and no strikes. 2 outs now. In the bottom of the 4th inning, the Blue Crabs with a 4-1 lead. 2 runs in the first, 2 more in the 3rd. Well, 1PFNCS says 18 seasons. Well, that was correct. It was 18 seasons for Mickey Mantle, but how many All-Star teams was he named to? He says 18 All-Star teams, I'd imagine is what he's referring to. So 18 for 18. Again, Mickey Mantle played in 18 MLB seasons. How many All-Star teams was he named to? We'll give you the answer in the top of the 6th inning. We'll also write the question in the YouTube chat. Runner on second base and 2 outs. 1-1 pitch to Sundberg. Breaking ball, a little bit off the plate. Now the count 2 balls and 1 strike on the lefty. 2 balls, 1 strike. There are now 2 outs in the 4th inning as the Blue Crabs try to tack on another run. Sundberg scored in the 1st and the 3rd. And back at the plate here in the 4th. 2-1 pitch. That's a called strike. Knee high in the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 outs. Runner on second base. We'll go through the official lines for both teams. The FerryHawks, 1 run on 2 hits. No errors. The Blue Crabs, 4 runs on 4 hits with no errors. On the season, the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs are 37-12. For Staten Island, they are 14-34. As the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs having not only the best start in franchise history, but an opportunity to even set a first half record for the best record in a half, as they currently have a winning percentage north of .750. The pitch fouled off yet again, third base side. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes on the lefty Sundberg, who is the leadoff hitter in the order. He has speed. He's stolen 14 bases, and it's DeLuca from second base. Well, the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs have turned to Mackenzie Mills on the mound today, who's been effective. Allowed just 2 hits, hasn't walked anybody. Did surrender a run. It was the lone run of this game that he's allowed. Came in the top of the 4th. This one swinging a ground ball toward the second base side. Going to be a tough play. A spinning throw to first base from Betancourt is in time to get the runner Sundberg at first. Nearly found a seeing eye single. Almost drove in Joe DeLuca from second base. But a terrific spinning throw from Javier Betancourt. And the Blue Crabs strand 1 at the end of 4 innings of play. It's the Blue Crabs 4. It's the FerryHawks 1. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Blue Crabs Baseball on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Daryl Thompson, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Chick-fil-A of Charles County has been a proud supporter of the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs since their inception in 2008. For years, they have sponsored the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs, America's prisoners of war and missing in action. In between the second inning of each game, there is a moment of silence brought to you by Chick-fil-A. The Southern Maryland Blue Crabs appreciate and respect not only Chick-fil-A, but all of those that have served our great country. The seat that they sponsor was made possible by Chick-fil-A of Charles County. Thank you so much, and visit any of your Charles County Chick-fil-A locations today.
We are back in the top of the fifth inning. There it is, a 4-1 Blue Crabs game, and the first pitch from Mackenzie Mills was outside. The 1-0 pitch is a called strike now. On the count, 1-1 strike now on Alfredo Reyes, who bats fifth for the FerryHawks. 1-1 pitch, line drive toward deep left field. It's Sundberg who drifts back in front of the warning track where he makes the catch. A very well-hit ball from Alfredo Reyes. But it goes down as just an out on a line out toward left field. Well, there is one away now in the fifth inning. And it brings up Mario Bautista. Well, Bautista bats from the right side. On the day, he is 0 for 1. He grounded into a 5-4-3 double play. It was a very close play at first base. I thought he was safe off the bat, but called out from the first base umpire, Jerry Burrish. The first pitch is well upstairs and outside, and the count 1 no strikes now on the righty. 1 no strikes, 1 out. Top of the fifth inning. 1-0, big wave and a miss. Count 1 strike. Blue Crabs are looking for their 5th consecutive win. Southern Maryland have won the first 3 games of this series and won the last game of the previous series against the Charleston Dirty Birds. 1-1 pitch, up and away, count 2-1. There were a lot of people that doubted the Blue Crabs after their 12-game winning streak early in the season. They were 12-1. And a lot of people were saying, well, I don't know, is this team going to be able to hold this up? Well, since that 12-game winning streak, this team is still 25-11. This one, a high pop-up on the 2-1 pitch towards center field. It's Collier who drifts in 2 or 3 steps and makes the catch for the second out. Brings up Joseph Monhay.
Designated hitter number 20, Joseph Monhay.
Well, quickly, 2 outs from Mackenzie Mills in the top of the fifth inning. Let's see if we have any new answers to our trivia question. Of course, we heard from Possum Point Lodge, as we always do. Well, it's Brantley Holland who says 18. Brian Hauk says 24. All right. First pitch is inside, and the count 1 no strikes. Always appreciate the answers from Brian Hauk. His father submitted the trivia question yesterday. Today's trivia question is presented by Blaine Pilkerton, the official scorer for the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. 2-0 pitch, swung on and fouled away, third base side in foul territory, and the count 2 strike now on Joseph Monhay. Monhay played 6 years with the Red Sox organization, hit .260 with 14 home runs and 149 RBIs. Most recently played 87 games with the Sioux City Explorers. As the 2-1 pitch is outside, count 3-1, member of the American Association. He was also the roommate of Rafael Devers in the Portland Sea Dogs. That was back in 2019. 3-1 pitch. Big wave and a miss, and a pitch low in the dirt. Count 3 strikes. In the top of the fifth inning, Mackenzie Mills looking to turn things around after he allowed a solo shot in the fourth. He's faced just one more than the minimum across 4 2/3 innings. Pitch count for Mills at 65 pitches. This is a swing and a ground ball toward the third base side on the 3-2. Fielded by Crosby. He throws to first in plenty of time for the final out. It's the fourth 1-2-3 inning of the day for Mackenzie Mills. He's allowed just 1 run on 2 hits through 5. We're halfway done here at the Reagan Waldorf. It's the Blue Crabs with a 4-1 lead. Don't go anywhere.
Let's talk trash. Litter just doesn't pop up. It comes from improperly throwing away your trash and recyclables.
This is Daryl Thompson, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Whether it's Chris Paul, Cliff Paul, Aaron Rodgers, or even the son of a former Blue Crab, Patrick Mahomes, you've seen many athletes endorsing State Farm. That's because your State Farm agent has your back through good times and not so good times. That's why all the Blue Crabs, Daryl Thompson and the whole team, trust State Farm with their insurance needs. State Farm is the company people have trusted for over 99 years to help life go right. Call your local State Farm agent, Greg Conklin, today at 240-776-4289.
Well, it's Michael Wolanski who steps in to get things started in the bottom of the 5th. First pitch, a little bit up and in on the righty in the count. 1 ball and no strikes on Michael Wolanski. Wolanski to be followed by Jared Walker. Wolanski hitting well recently. The 1-0 pitch is fouled off first base side. He was 2 for 4 yesterday, drove in 2 RBIs, including the game-winning RBI in Game 2 as part of a 4-3 Blue Crabs win. And drove in the first run today. There was a runner on first base with nobody out. It was Jack Sundberg. And Wolanski roped a triple down the first baseline. 1-1 pitch, fouled back. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes. The College World Series gets underway tomorrow. The Southern Maryland Blue Crabs have a game tomorrow with Lancaster, but a couple of college teams in the College World Series from some bigger conferences that some teams around here as well. Maryland did not make it. They lost to UConn in the regional, who went on to lose to Stanford. As the 2-1 pitch was a called strike. And now they count 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 pitch. Foul back to the netting, and the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes on Wolanski. Of course, the NBA Finals also tonight. Stanley Cup Finals also underway. The 2-2 pitch, that's upstairs. Now they count 3 balls and 2 strikes. It's Oklahoma, Texas A&M, Notre Dame, Texas, Arkansas, Stanford, Ole Miss, and Auburn. A lot of Southern teams. Then you got Notre Dame, and then you got Stanford. Of course, the Big 12, the Southeast Conference. 3-2 pitch is low and away. It's ball 4. It's the 4th walk issued from Freeze. There's 1 on with nobody out in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Now batting, the the first baseman, number 24, Jared Walker.
Brings up Jared Walker, who hit a home run in his last time up. Home run down the right field line over the wall, and no one was quite sure whether it had left the ballpark or it hadn't left the ballpark. Came back into play after it went out of play. And the umpires had to convene, find out what did they think. And eventually the decision was made, yeah, it is a home run. First pitch is low to Jared Walker. And the count 1 ball and no strikes on the lefty. Bottom of the 5th inning. We're glad you decided to join us as the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs have a 4-1 lead over the FerryHawks. Blue Crabs' magic number just 6 to clinch the playoff spot. This one, swinging a high fly ball, left field, rather deep, sends Whitmore back to the warning track, and she makes the catch. It was right around hip high. And there is one out. And there's one on with one out in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Now batting, the designated hitter, number 14.
Brings up David Harris. David Harris has a hit already for the Blue Crabs. He struck out in the first, but he singled back in the 3rd inning. This is the 3rd time around the lineup for the Blue Crabs. With Wolanski at first base. Pitch called strike on Harris, and the count, no balls and 1 strike. Oh, 1 pitch upcoming to David Harris. He'll be followed by Alex Crosby in the 5th if necessary, with 1 away and a runner on first base. Runner goes, throw down to second base, not in time. The hand for Wolanski got in. It was a strong throw, but the slide, I should say, was under the tag. He got the fingers onto the bag before the tag came down on his leg. And the count, 1 ball or no balls and 2 strikes. It was a called strike on the steal from Wolanski. Here's the 0-2. Swinging a line drive, deep left field, back to the warning track at the wall. It's gone. 2-run home run from David Harris, who got all of that ball, a line shot over the wall in left field, and the Blue Crabs have put up another 2 spot here in the 5th. It is a 6-1 Blue Crabs lead. 2 in the 1st, 2 in the 3rd, 2 in the 5th. A line drive over the UA Local Plumbers and Gas Fitters sign in left field onto the picnic deck. Or a bounce there just to the left of the red and white picnic tent on the picnic deck. As Harris and Wolanski score, greeted with high fives from their teammates and their manager Stan Clyburn, who is on the top step of the dugout. A 6-1 Blue Crabs lead. They have seized firm control here in the 5th. And that brings up Alex Crosby, still searching for his first hit of the day. First pitch is low and in, and the count 1 ball and no strikes on the lefty. Crosby to be followed by Collier, Lee, DeLuca, if necessary. Count 1 ball and no strikes on the lefty. 1-0 pitch, that's away. Count 2 balls and no strikes. And there's still no action down in the FerryHawks bullpen. Blue Crabs with that large 6-1 advantage. The 2-0 pitch, tap foul. First base side, count 2 balls and 1 strike. Alex. And finally they got somebody warming up for the FerryHawks. I'll let you know if we have any word on who that is. The pitch, ground ball just past the glove and under the glove of Angel Aguilar. And Alex Crosby reaches. It was a play that Aguilar really should have made. He just sort of fell down, and then he stuck his glove out on the ground, and it still managed to roll under it. I'm not sure that's going to go down as an error or a hit. A 6-1 Blue Crabs advantage. Might get a hometown scoring here for a base hit. We'll have to see what it goes down as. It is a hit. A hit for Alex Crosby. That extends his hitting streak to 7 games. Crosby was 7 straight. He had a streak of 10 straight earlier this year. The first pitch line drive over the Legends Club off the bat of Zach Collier. And the count, no balls and 1 strike. On top of the Legends Club, which is serving unlimited beer and wings until 8 p.m. It appears that the 8 p.m. deadline passed about 40 minutes ago, but I'm sure the fans had a lot of fun. Here is the 0-1 pitch. Ground ball, foul, back behind home plate, and the count 0-2 now on Collier. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Bottom of the 5th inning, the Blue Crabs scored 2 in the first. They scored 2 in the third. They've added 2 more here in the 5th. Maybe it's just the odd innings. They'll have 2 more in the 7th and might not get a bottom of the 9th. So, I don't know, maybe 8 runs for the Blue Crabs? We'll have to see what everything turns out to. FerryHawks scored just 1 run. That came back in the top of the 4th inning, a solo shot from Angel Aguilar. The 0-2 offering upcoming to Collier. Here's the pitch. Line drive, hard hit foul, first base side. And the count remains no balls and 2 strikes. With 1 out in the 5th. The starting pitcher for the FerryHawks, Dakota Freeze, had a 1.93 ERA entering play today. It's now at 3.31. Tough start for him. 0-2 pitch, check swing, but Collier held up, and the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, let's go back toward our trivia question today, see what kind of answers we have. Donnie Geeky says, I'm guessing 16 all-star teams for the Mick. In the bottom of the 5th inning, a 6-1 lead for the Blue Crabs. Here's the pitch. That's low and away. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes on Zach Collier. Appears that Dennis Moore is having trouble hearing. There was some action supposedly in the Staten Island bullpen. I believe there maybe still is. Though it's tough to see from my angle. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Collier with 1 out. 2 runs in already for the Blue Crabs in a 6-1 lead. 2-2 is low and in. Count 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Bottom of the 5th inning. Collier taps home plate twice. Freeze set. Tosses to first to check on Alex Crosby. Crosby does have 6 stolen bases on the season. Just an incredibly well-rounded player for Crosby. We talked about consistency as the word to use to describe Alex Crosby. And his batting average obviously stands out at .325. And the hit streak at 7 games, but also the stolen bases even. Well, the 3-2 pitch this time to Collier is called strike 3. And now there are 2 outs.
Now batting, the right fielder, number 13, Braxton Lee.
Brings up Braxton Lee with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th inning. Two outs and a runner on first base. Let's see if this is going to do it for Dakota Freeze. And that's going to be the end of his evening. Edgardo Alfonso, the manager for the FerryHawks, has made the call to the bullpen. And the Blue Crabs also maybe, looks like Crosby headed back to the dugout. I'm not sure if they're going to have a pinch runner or not, or he's just going to hang out in the dugout while they make this pitching change. As Dakota Freeze has gone 4 2/3 innings, he's allowed 6 hits, but the FerryHawks will lose the designated hitter for the remainder of this ball game. I guess they're comfortable with that. Well, either way, they're going to have to deal with it, as the FerryHawks have a 5-run deficit they're going to have to make up. It's the bottom of the 5th inning. There are 2 outs and a runner on first base. When we come back, we'll break down the pitching change from Regency Furniture Stadium. Don't go anywhere.
This is Coach Doug's, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
All Pawn is Southern Maryland's premier pawn shop and is the official pawn shop of the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. Stop by and say hello today. They've been a part of the Southern Maryland community for 18 years. If you need some cash to hold you over, or if you're just doing some spring cleaning and want to clear some stuff out, please bring it by All Pawn and let them make you an offer. If you have broken jewelry or some that you just don't want anymore, please bring it by and they'll pay you more than anyone in the Tri-County area. They're located on 301 in White Plains, just south of DeMar Road. Go Blue Crabs! Well, we get ready to go in the bottom of the 5th inning. A runner on first base as the Blue Crabs have 2 outs and a 6-1 lead. A new pitcher in the ball game. It is Andy Katz, or Alex Katz, I should say. First pitch is low and away, and the count. Oh no, it's a called strike. Count no balls and 1 strike now on Braxton Lee. Had a chance to watch Alex Katz warm up. Katz spent 6 or 5 seasons in minor league baseball with the White Sox, Orioles, and Cubs organizations. Was 8-11 and a 4.44 ERA in that time span. The 0-1 pitch, lined foul over the Legends Club toward the concourse and the parking lot. Count no balls and 2 strikes now on Lee. 1 on with 2 outs. Bottom of the 5th inning, a 6-1 Blue Crabs edge. Katz, the lefty, set of the belt.
Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Braxton Lee chases a breaking ball low and out of the zone. And that ends the 5th inning. Alex Katz enters, and he strikes out Braxton Lee to end the bottom of the 5th inning. We're finished with 5 from Regency Furniture Stadium. It's the Blue Crabs who have a 6-1 lead over the FerryHawks.
Outdoor Creations.
This is Daryl Thompson, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
When you're in the market to buy or sell a home, call Tony McClure of Century 21 New Millennium and his Grand Slam team. The realtor of the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs since our first season in 2008. Tony and his team of preferred partners includes Tim Murphy of CNF Mortgage and Steve Scott of the Scott Law Group. Together, they will ensure that your real estate needs are nothing short of a grand slam. The quality service you will receive is Hall of Fame worthy. Put Tony's 41-plus years of experience to work for you. Call or text Tony today at 301-928-1280 for your personal Grand Slam experience. Go Blue Crabs. Did you know that the Washington, D.C. metro area is the 5th most expensive place to live in the entire United States of America? Sometimes finding affordable housing in this area can feel impossible. If you're struggling to find affordable housing, look no further than the Villages of St. Charles by Ross Properties. You can visit them online at villagesatstcharles.com for more information today. Villages of St. Charles, they'll have you safe at home.
Top of the 6th inning. It's Mackenzie Mills back on the mound as the Blue Crabs have a 6-1 lead. And the first pitch to Brian Gonzalez is a called strike, and the count no balls and 1 strike on Gonzalez, who bats 8th in the batting order. Or Brian Martinez, I beg your pardon. Martinez followed by Whitmore and Duplantis. And the pitch runs inside. The count 1 ball and 1 strike on Martinez. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nobody out in the top of the 6th inning. Well, the Blue Crabs scored 2 in the first, 2 in the third, and 2 in the 5th. As the 1-1 pitch is low and in. Count 2 balls and 1 strike now on the catcher Martinez. It's Kelsey Whitmore who's on deck. Blue Crabs with a healthy 6-1 lead. This one swinging a high pop up over to the third base side. A long run for DeLuca, and he runs out of room. As the umpire for tonight's game, Mike Mackey, wipes off the plate. It is Brian Gonzalez, I beg your pardon. Was written elsewhere as Brian Martinez incorrectly, so it is Brian Gonzalez. The count is 2 balls and 2 strikes now on the right-handed hitter. He struck out his first time up. Here is the 2-2 pitch. Line drive foul back behind home plate. Count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes on Gonzalez. The Blue Crabs are 37-12 on the season. They've had a winning streak of 12 games, another winning streak of 5 games, and an additional winning streak of 7 This would be their 4th winning streak if they're able to win tonight of at least 5 games on the season. 2-2 pitch, swinging a slow roller over towards short, fielded by the shortstop Baca, and he tosses to first. And there is one away. 5 1/3 innings of work from Mackenzie Mills. He's thrown 70 pitches in this ball game. It brings up Kelsey Whitmore, who digs in from the right side. Whitmore is 0 for 1 today. This is just her 2nd at bat in the 6th inning. She went down on strikes. She struck out 7 times in 10 at bats. First pitch fastball powered past her. And the count 0-1. For Mackenzie Mills, he has 4 strikeouts through 5 1/3. Hard fastball, a little bit up and away. Count 1 ball and 1 strike from Mills. Mills has been throwing upper 80s more recently as the 1-2 pitch is fouled just overhead. Our camera operator Anthony says, well, a little worried about that one. Try to get out of the way. And it was headed just overhead. It was pretty close. Made me move back a little bit as well. Count 1-2 now on the left fielder. The 1-2 pitch called strike 3. Kelsey Whitmore goes down looking. It is the 5th strikeout for Mackenzie Mills. And there's nobody on it, and 2 outs as Mackenzie Mills has gone 5 2/3. He's allowed just 1 earned run via a solo homer from Angel Aguilar, who homered back in the 4th inning. Back to the top of the order, Antoine Duplantis to step in. First pitch, a little bit inside in the count, 1 ball and no strikes on Whitmore. I beg your pardon, on Duplantis. Duplantis played in the Cape Cod Baseball League, also played at LSU. And the pitch, swinging a ground ball over towards second, fielded on the backhand by Wilansky. Throw to first is in time. Terrific play on the backhand by Wilansky, and the toss to first beats Duplantis. It's another 1-2-3 inning for Mackenzie Mills, his 5th 1-2-3 inning in 6 tries. We move to the bottom of the 6th. It's still all Blue Crabs. They lead it 6-1.
Summer is coming, Southern Maryland. Is your system ready? Call Start Mechanical.
Two-thirds, he's allowed. Now we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. It is Joe DeLuca who will get things started. 8-9-1 for the Blue Crabs in the bottom of the 6th. This is the third plate appearance for DeLuca. He has not registered an at-bat as he walked in his first 2. First pitch from Joe Kuzia is away for ball 1. Kuzia and Katz both from St. John's. This is Kuzia's 3rd year in the Atlantic League. He has pitched as high as Double-A with Frisco last season. 1-0 delivery. High chopper over toward first base, fielded by Herrera. He'll step on the bag himself and beats DeLuca to the bag by about 2 steps, and there is one away in the bottom of the 6th inning. And Michael Baca will come to the plate. The Blue Crabs have a 5-run lead over the FerryHawks as Baca comes to the dish. Kuzia will pitch to Baca and then to Sundberg. Blue Crabs, middle of the order and top of the order, have provided all of the runs today as the first pitch to Baca, a called strike. Typically, the Blue Crabs have one of the most balanced batting orders in the Atlantic League. They've got a lot of power at the bottom of the order, but today it's been all 1 through 4. Sundberg, Wolanski, Walker, and Harris. This one swinging a line drive foul, first base side. For Sundberg, he scored 2 runs on a walk and a single. Wolanski, an RBI triple. Came around to score then. Also scored after he walked. For Walker, he hit a 2-run home run, and Harris also hit a 2-run home run. That's the runs today for the Blue Crabs. It's part of a 6-1 lead. 0-1 pitch, fouled back to the netting. Count 0-2 on Baca. Well, Joe Kuzia, again in his 3rd season, as his 19th appearance. He has 7 consecutive scoreless appearances as well, and has not allowed more than 1 earned run in any of his appearances. Comes in with a 1.78 ERA. 0-2, high fly ball, shallow right field. It's the right fielder Bautista who takes 2 steps in and makes the catch for the second out. Quickly 2 up and 2 down from Joe Kuzia in the bottom of the 6th inning. Blue Crabs will return to Regency Furniture Stadium tomorrow for a 3-game set with the Lancaster Barnstormers. Blue Crabs have a 13-game lead in the division. The Blue Crabs have found success against Lancaster so far. They swept the Barnstormers the last time they played them on the road. They also swept them at home. They're 6-0 against Lancaster this season. And the Blue Crabs 5-0 against Staten Island. First pitch is low and away for ball 1 on Sundberg. Blue Crabs 6-0 against Lancaster, 5-0 against Staten Island. Blue Crabs do not have a losing record against any team. The closest, they are 2-1 against York, and they're 3-3 against Long Island. The pitch to Sundberg, that's outside, and all of a sudden they count 2 balls and no strikes. Kuzia, 6'5", 190 pounds, 28 years old, out of St. John's. He and Alex Katz, both from St. John's. Again, Kuzia did pitch in Double-A last year with both Texas, the Rangers organization, and with Minnesota's organization. 2-0 offering, way inside. Count 3 balls and no strikes. And the issue there for someone like Kuzia, who's in that position, is that you spend some time in affiliated ball and you come back to the Atlantic League. You want to, of course, get back there. And he hasn't gotten to AAA quite yet. He was traded merely for cash considerations last time. 3-0 pitch. That one clips the outer edge in the count. 3 balls and 1 strike. Alex Katz has 5 years of minor league baseball experience. Katz graduating in 2016. Kuzia in 2015. And 3-1 pitch. That's way outside the count. And that will be a walk, I should say. And he's on first base. Runner on first with 2 outs. That it brings up Mike Wolanski. Wolanski hitting over 350 with the Blue Crabs in his short stint with the team. Well, it's not coming up in a few weeks. He's been the most productive bat in the lineup since joining the Blue Crabs. Wolanski on the year, including his time in Long Island, has a 286 batting average. Came to the Blue Crabs with a 200 batting average and has really taken off in an everyday role. First pitch called strike. That's on the outside corner to the righty, Michael Wolanski. Well, Sundberg is 14 for 16 in stolen bases, but with a 5-run lead, we might not see him running. The 0-1 pitch, that's low and away. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. FerryHawks have struggled to get anything going off of Mackenzie Mills, who's allowed just 1 run on 2 hits. Mills has thrown 6 innings and 77 pitches. The 1-1 pitch, that's low. Count 2 balls and 1 strike. Kenzie Mills, 6 innings so far, 2 hits, 5 strikeouts, 1 run. There is no action in the Blue Crabs' pen. The idea here, I'm sure, has to be just let him go as long as he wants or he can go. And I think at this point, 7, as long as he doesn't run into any issues, maybe 8, as a 2-1 pitch was a called strike. Right at the top part of the zone, just above belt high. The count 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th inning. 2-2 offering. Ground ball toward the middle. It's under the glove of the shortstop, Reyes, and into center field for a base hit. Michael Wolanski with a pair of hits today. He tripled down the right field line. It was a tough play for Reyes. Definitely not an error. It's going to go down as a hit for sure. But one that if he could have made, he could have gotten the lead out on Sundberg. But instead, it's another single for the Blue Crabs. Their runners on first and second with 2 outs. And Sundberg has an opportunity to blow this game right out of the water. Another home run would really put this game to rest, but the Blue Crabs still have a healthy 5-run lead. It's 6-1 in the bottom of the 6th inning. I'll revisit our trivia question in a couple of moments. First pitch to Walker is fouled back. Well, let's revisit it right now. Go through some of the answers. Question, Mickey Mantle played 18 Major League Baseball seasons. How many All-Star teams was he named to? This was courtesy of Blaine Pilkerton. He is the official scorer for the Blue Crabs. As the 0-1 offering. Called strike. Count no balls and 2 strikes. Well, the answer to the trivia question is 20 All-Star games. There were 2 All-Star games played in 1959, 1960, 1961, and 1962. So you have 8 All-Star games then, on top of 12 additional All-Star seasons. So he was in All-Star games in 16 different years, but in 20 different All-Star teams because of the 2 All-Star games in the same season. So a bit of a trick question, but still a great one from the outstanding Blaine Pilkerton. Pitch to Walker, a big swing and a miss on the 0-2, and that is the end of the 6th inning. The Blue Crabs strand 2. They score none at the end of 6. It's the Blue Crabs 6 and the Staten Island FerryHawks 1. You're listening to Blue Crabs Baseball on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. On the top of the 7th inning, first pitch is a called strike on the 2-hitter Javier Betancourt. It is a 6-1 Blue Crabs lead as 2, 3, and 4 will come to the plate. Betancourt followed by Aguilar and Herrera. This is the only part of the order that's done damage against Mackenzie Mills so far in this game. The 0-1 pitch, called strike on the outer half, count 0-2. Mackenzie Mills has been rolling through 6 innings, but the only 2 batters who have hits are in 2 through 4. 0-2 pitch, check swing. Motion down to first base, and the first base umpire, Jerry Barella, said he held up. And they count 1-2. Angel Aguilar hit the solo home run back in the 4th. And Dilson Herrera singled. That was in the 2nd inning. Here is the 1-2 pitch from Mills. Way low and in, bounced in front of the plate. And that forced Betancourt to get out of the way. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, we appreciate everybody joining us for tonight's broadcast. Under clear skies on a Thursday evening. 2-2 pitch, ground ball toward third, fielded on the backhand by Crosby. Throw across the diamond is offline and gets away from Walker at first base. And that's going to allow Herrera to reach, or I beg your pardon, that's Betancourt. And so there's 1 on with nobody out in the top of the 7th inning. Anyone else would like a shout-out late in tonight's ball game? Go ahead. We're going to give a couple other shout-outs. It is Dennis Moore, who joined us a little later today. Said a big storm just got here to Possum Point Lodge in Jena, Louisiana. But he has joined us now. We were supposed to have a big storm here in Waldorf. It never came. The storm was headed here, and then it split right around the city. First pitch is a little bit upstairs. Count 1 ball and no strikes on Angel Aguilar. And this is where things can get a little bit tricky. 1 on, nobody out. Lead-up batter reaches via an error. 1-0 delivery. Called strike, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike on Angel Aguilar. Be followed by Dilson Herrera. If Aguilar were to go deep again, all of a sudden you've got yourself a very close ball game. There's no action in the Blue Crabs bullpen for now. Mills set. 1-1, high fly ball, left field. Brings Sundberg over toward the left field line where he makes the catch for the first out. And that brings up Dilson Herrera. Herrera does have a hit in today's ball game, but on the year he's had a tough go of things.
Now batting your Landon's Ices and Creams K-Man of the evening, number 11, Dilson Herrera.
And Dilson Herrera is the K-Man tonight. Landon's Ices and Creams in La Plata. At Landon's Ices and Creams, you get great local ice creams. And a certain section of fans will get free ice creams if Dilson Herrera strikes out. First pitch called strike on a breaking ball. And the count 0-1. It is always fun to hear Ron Lord and the rest of the fans chant for ice cream. It's one of the great parts about going to a ball game in Maryland. 0-1 pitch, foul ball, first base side. Walker gives a bit of chase, but it floats into the seats. Runner on first base, 1 out. 6-1 Blue Crabs in the top of the 7th for Dilson Herrera. I was telling Andrew this yesterday, but I've got to find a time to go out to have some ice cream at Landon's Ices and Creams. Mackenzie Mills set. Pitch to Herrera. Just a little bit upstairs. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes now on the righty. Mackenzie Mills, for now, has the best ERA on the Blue Crabs at 3.44. Second best ERA is 3.78. As the 1-2 pitch is low and in, that's Denson Hull. He and Mitch Lamson are right at 3.78 and 3.80. Darrell Thompson's ERA a touch over 4. Eddie Butler's ERA is just a little under 5. And the bullpen has really stood strong for the Blue Crabs this season. That's been one of the difference makers. Have an ERA under 4 in the bullpen. 2-2 pitch. Big wave and a miss. Strike 3. Fastball upstairs. And Mackenzie Mills strikes out Dilson Herrera. It's the first time he's gone down on strikes today. And one lucky section will get free coupons to Landon's Ices and Creams. Well, the fans are still chanting ice cream. You're not going to get any more ice cream unless, I guess it's have to have chanted a certain decibel level, I think, to have gotten it. And some fans in the front row, a couple of kids, are getting some free ice cream coupons. First pitch is away for ball 1 on the 5-hitter Alfredo Reyes. 2 outs in the top of the 7th inning. They pitch. That one's fouled off first base side, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. It is a terrific evening for baseball. The Blue Crabs looking for their 5th straight win and looking to climb a little bit closer to clinching the division. In the first half, and earn an automatic spot in the playoffs as the 1-1 pitch is upstairs. Count 2 balls and 1 strike. Well, Long Island did beat High Point, so the Blue Crabs, at best, could have the magic number fall to 5 games today. 2-1 pitch, a little bit inside. Count 3 balls and 1 strike. Three balls, 1 strike, 2 outs in the top of the 7th inning. The Blue Crabs have a 6-1 lead. 3-1 pitch, ground ball over towards short, fielded on a short hop by Baca. Throw to first is in time as it beats the runner. That's Alfredo Reyes by about a half a step. And that will end the top of the 7th inning. It's time to stretch, get up, grab some popcorn, grab a drink, and be back in the bottom of the 7th inning. The Blue Crabs have a strong 5-run edge over the FerryHawks as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Stick with us in the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Darrell Thompson, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Ryan Haug, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Nick Wells, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Alex Crosby, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Michael Baca, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Ian Yetzko, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Scotty Bertram, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Braxton Lee, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
The Blue Crabs will send 4, 5, and 6 to the plate. Harris followed by Crosby and Collier. In the bottom of the 7th inning, where the Blue Crabs have a 7-1 lead, it is Connor Law who will enter the game. First pitch is away for ball 1, and the count 1 ball and no strikes now on Law, or I beg your pardon, on Harris, who homered earlier today, hit a 2-run shot over the mini monster in left field. Law stares in at Harris. First pitch, or the 1-0 I should say, is fouled away, first base side. Connor Law with a 2.49 ERA was in the Blue Jays system last year. 21 2/3 innings. Count 1 ball and 1 strike on Harris. The 1-1, big wave and a miss. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes. As David Harris falls behind in the count on Connor Law. Blue Crabs, 2 runs in the first, 2 in the third, 2 in the 5th. Now we're in the 7th. Is the odd number inning going to produce 2 more runs for the Blue Crabs? We'll have to wait and see. 1-2 pitch to Harris. Big wave and a miss. That's strike 3. And there is one away into the bottom of the 7th inning. Law, one of the top relievers for Staten Island. They've got quite a few good relief pitchers on staff. As they worked through Kuzia and Katz earlier, who are both reliable relievers for Staten Island. Staten Island's pitching staff really hasn't been the issue. The offense has been ice cold so far this year. Team 14 and 34. And the first pitch is a called strike on the outside corner to Alex Crosby. And the pitch, that is low in the count. 1 ball and 1 strike. Base pass empty with 1 out. Count 1-1 on Crosby. This one swinging a ground ball, deflects off the pitcher. The throw to first is wide. Not a good throw from Connor Law. He threw it away as he had trouble gathering the ball and threw it down the first base line past the first baseman, Herrera. And that allows Crosby to reach second base. I think a single and an error as Andrew Banster joins us. Andrew, what's your ruling on that?
I would tend to think it was a single and an error. I would tend to agree with you just because it hit off of him, but happy to be up here. Obviously another good Blue Crabs hopefully win. 6-1 to score. On our way to maybe a 4-game sweep.
It would be 5 consecutive wins for the Blue Crabs as well. Andrew, how many 5-game winning streaks have the Blue Crabs had this year? Do you know?
At least 4.
This would be their 4th. They had a 7-game win streak following the 12-game win streak. They had a 5-game win streak as part of the sweep over Lancaster on the road. And then if they hold on today, it would be the last game against Charleston and then a 4-game sweep of the FerryHawks.
Now here's a trivia question for you. How many 5-game streaks did the Blue Crabs have last year?
1.
1. That was the season high. Only 1 time did they win 5 straight. They had 2 4-game winning streaks, but pretty remarkable here. We're not even through the first half, and we've already quadrupled last year's.
Let's not go too quickly, but yeah, I'm in agreement. 1 ball and 1 strike now on Collier. In the bottom of the 7th inning, we're glad everybody has joined us today. One fan we have not heard from today is Multi-Apples. I'm very surprised we've not gotten anything from Multi-Apples in the YouTube chat. He's a staple on the YouTube chat. Count 1-1. Now the pitch from Law. Line drive. Center field. It's a base hit. Ray Ortega sends Crosby around third. Throw to the plate is cut off by the second baseman. That's Javier Betancourt, and it's a 7-1 Blue Crabs lead. As Southern Maryland scores yet another run. I said, are they going to put up 2 more here in the 7th? It's an odd number inning. They've got 1. They need 1 more. As Zach Collier comes through and Braxton Lee comes to the plate. Lee's had a tough day so far. He's 0 for 3. But, Andrew, how about the performance tonight from Mackenzie Mills?
Yeah, really unbelievable. He allows 2 hits. One of them was a solo shot back in the 4th, but outside of that, he's been tremendous. Back-to-back awesome starts for the lefty. Yeah,
really 3 in a row now. He went 7 innings, allowed 2 runs. That was way back against Lancaster. Then against Charleston, he went in 8 innings, 4 hits, no runs, and now here he goes 7 innings, 1 run, 2 hits. First pitch, a called strike on Braxton Lee. That comes in at the knees, and the count 0-1. I mean, Mackenzie Mills making a case for himself to really be the ace of this staff with the last 3 performances. The 0-1 is fouled back to the netting, count 0-2.
Yeah, it's really remarkable. Obviously, he's the 5th guy in the rotation, but to your point, over his last 3 starts, he's easily been the best on the team. And, I mean, if you get Mills going, everybody in your staff can give you 7 innings scoreless potentially every night, which is something that no team in the league can even come close to saying.
You know, you look at players who are likely to get picked up, and you see someone who can throw sort of the numbers that Mills does. The line drive, hard hit to the third base side, gets into the seats. Luckily, no one was hit. That ball was a screamer.
Nearly got Andres Briseño's son, who's playing with a toy truck down there. He's been running it back and forth all night. He's having a blast.
Well, I'm happy to hear Andres Briseño's son's having a blast, and we're also happy to hear it did not hit him, because that would have been very sad for him. But glad to see that he is just fine and running with that toy truck. You know, I remember when I was a kid running around with trucks. I don't know if I ever brought one to a baseball game.
I love the energy, though. It's not remote controlled, but if you just let it go, it just goes. I asked him about it. He said he loves it and just kept going with the truck. So
that's great.
Didn't seem all that interested in talking to me about it.
The 0-2 pitches away, count 1-2. Is it one of those ones where you back it up and then it goes? Okay.
So it's a semi-truck, but inside the semi-truck, there's a ton of other little toy cars.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's pretty.
So it's like one of those trucks you bring to the car manufacturer that brings other cars?
Basically.
Oh, great stuff. Sounds like a lot of fun. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Pitch, high fastball swung through from Braxton Lee, and that's strike 3. 2 away now in the bottom of the 7th inning. It brings up Joe DeLuca as Zach Collier stands on first base with 2 away. 7-1 Blue Crabs, 2 in the first, 2 in the third, 2 in the 5th, and 1 in the 7th as the Blue Crabs have a 7-1 lead. The only run from the FerryHawks, a solo home run that came back in the 4th inning. Jared Walker hit a 2-run home run in the 3rd. No one was quite sure what happened to that ball. They thought, was it in play? Was it out of play? He reached 3rd. The umps talked about it, and they said, no, it's a home run. Here's the pitch to Joe DeLuca. It's upstairs. The count, 1 ball and no strikes. You have to wonder, Andrew, do you think Mills will go back out for the 8th?
I think he will, mostly just because there's not a ton of action right now in the Blue Crabs bullpen. But in addition to that, he's only allowed 2 hits, 1 run. I would think he comes back out for the 8th.
95 pitches for the big lefty. 6'5". And the 1-0 pitch, well up and away, count 2-0. DeLuca just 0 for 1. He's had 3 plate appearances, but 2 walks. Blue Crabs 7 runs on 9 hits tonight, and the top of the lineup has gotten the majority of the work done. And we've seen at times this year the bottom of the lineup shine more than the top of the lineup, but not the case tonight, and it's a massive boost to have someone like Michael Wolanski hitting in that 2 spot. 2-0 pitch, popped up foul over the third base dugout under the concourse.
Yeah, you're right. And, really after Ruby Silva left, Raul Shaw and Ian Yetzko did a fantastic job filling in, but there was still a sense of question as to who the everyday second baseman would be, and it was a hole, but Wolanski has done a fantastic job filling that hole.
Right, and at some points, Raul Shaw was hitting the ball very, very well through the month of April and May. Went through a slump there toward the end of May, though. And the 2-1 pitch, big swing and a miss from DeLuca, count 2-2. And since then, Bolansky has really filled that hole. Ian Yetzko still hitting nearly 290, which is quite good to have someone like that who can rotate into second base, third base, and give the Blue Crabs a rest to someone else and have a bat in the lineup that's consistent.
Game 6 of the NBA Finals tonight. We appreciate you tuning in here instead of there, but we'll keep you posted on that.
Pitch to DeLuca, ground ball toward the middle. It's up the middle for a base hit. Collier around second. He heads into third. Runners on the corners with 2 outs. Andrew, I'm telling you, 2 in the first, 2 in the third, 2 in the fifth. There have to be 2 in the seventh, right?
I mean, it would only make sense. Mathematically, you'd have to think it would happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's odd numbers, right? These are all prime numbers. You familiar with prime numbers?
Of course.
Good. Good.
Big fan, actually.
You know, I was teaching at parts of this past year, and I was remembering prime numbers. I hadn't thought of prime numbers in 15 years, but
they seem useless to me.
Yeah, you know, I can't say you're wrong.
It's like, whoa, I get the point, but why? Who cares? All I know is that 17 is not a prime number.
No, it is. It is a prime number.
Or it is a prime number. Isn't it the first prime number?
No, 1 is the first prime number.
The second.
That would be 2.
Well, maybe I don't understand prime numbers as well as I used to.
I don't blame you. First pitch is check swing from Baca. The count 1-0.
So what's the deal with 17 then?
It's a larger number that's a prime number, I think.
I guess. Like I said, useless.
Runners on the corners with 2 outs. Count 1 ball and no strikes on Baca. Maybe I should have learned them better when I was teaching them more recently. 1-0 pitch. That's up and in. Count 2 balls and no strikes.
And now we do have action in the Blue Crabs bullpen. It's another southpaw, Dario Polanco, just starting to stretch and throw.
And Polanco's been through some ups and downs this season. I think probably a good option for the Blue Crabs if they're able to hold this 7-1 lead going toward the 9th and get him some action. The 2-0 pitch to Baca, that's away. Count 3 balls and no strikes. So it's DeLuca with his first hit of the day. He's on first. Collier is on third. The Blue Crabs have their first double-digit hit streak since Crosby had one about 2 weeks ago, as Bolansky has 11 straight games with 11 straight hits. Crosby now has a 7-game hit streak of his own. As the 3-0 pitch is upstairs, and it's a walk. So the bases are loaded with 2 outs, and it sends Jack Sundberg to the plate.
We got a problem with your theory here. A base hit probably scores 2.
That's why you have to think walk.
Gotcha. Now Long Island did win tonight. They won
did.
hit High Point.
Right. So the magic number can only fall to 5 today, and the earliest the Blue Crabs could clinch with a win today would now be Sunday, because the Blue Crabs, even if they win the next 2 games after today and the Ducks lose, it would just be down to 1. Again, the magic number works. Again, Blue Crabs' magic number is 6. We talked about this throughout the broadcast. And that means the Blue Crabs need a combined 6 wins or Ducks losses to get to 6. So 3 wins for the Blue Crabs, 3 losses for the Ducks, 4 Blue Crabs wins, 2 Ducks losses. Or it could get to the point where the Blue Crabs need 6 wins and the Ducks start rattling off wins. It is Jack Sundberg who will dig in from the left side. The Ducks really are the only team, Andrew, the Blue Crabs have struggled with. They're 3-3 against the Ducks. First pitch to Jack Sundberg is low, and the count 1 ball and no strikes. Andrew, did you hear the answer to the Mickey Mantle trivia question?
I did not.
So the question was, well, Mickey Mantle played in 18 MLB seasons. How many All-Star games or All-Star teams did he play for?
Is this, I'm wondering, was there an All-Star team in each of his years? Was it the All-Star game a thing?
It was.
Okay, got it. That helps me.
1-0 delivery. That is at the knees for a strike. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. The question provided to us by the terrific Blaine Pilkerton, who is the official scorer for the Blue Crabs. Count 1 ball and 1 strike on Sundberg. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. That's low and in. Count 2-1. Nearly hit him. Andrew, do you have an answer for us?
I don't. I'm going to guess 13.
So that, I think, was my guess. The answer, 20 in 18 seasons, because there were 2 All-Star games in 1959, 1960, 1961, and 1962.
2 All-Star games.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's kind of cool. 2-1 pitch. That's low. Count 3 balls and 1 strike. Bases loaded, 2 outs. And we'll get this. Connor Law is at risk of walking in a run, which would put 2 Blue Crabs home for the inning, which means they have 2 in the first, 2 in the third, 2 in the fifth. It's only natural that in the 7th, another odd-numbered inning, they score 2 more. Have an opportunity to do that. We have kids downstairs yelling grand slam. Blue Crabs wouldn't mind that either, I'd say. 3-1 pitch is a called strike. Count 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the 7th inning. It is a 7-1 lead for the Blue Crabs. Austin Rooney joined by Andrew Banstra and our terrific camera operator, Anthony. Connor Law, the pitch. Swinging a high chopper, going to be a tough play. Well fielded by the shortstop. Reyes, throw to first in time. Oh, very close play, but in time to get Jack Sundberg, who was running well down the line. But that ends the 7th inning on a 6-3 put out. The Blue Crabs strand 3. They score 1. It's only 7-1 at the end of 7 innings of play. We go to the top of the 8th. The Blue Crabs looking to send down the Staten Island FerryHawks. Don't go anywhere.
We all love our hometown, and we can help you.
Well, we go to the top of the 8th inning, and guess who's back? Well, it's Mackenzie Mills who's back. Base is off against Mario Bautista. First pitch is a called strike, and the count 0-1. Andrew, it's a terrific night for baseball. There is rain in the forecast, and there are people who are talking about the percentage of precipitation, and they have numbers all over the place. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, count 0-2. They said a 90% chance of thunderstorms here in Waldorf at 6 and 7 p.m., and there was nothing.
Yeah, and it was supposed to be like really bad thunderstorms too, like to the point where we weren't even going to put on the tarp because the wind might blow it away. Side note, Nick Wells is now up and throwing in the Blue Crabs bullpen.
And the 0-2 pitch is upstairs. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes. People have been discussing what does it mean, percentage of precipitation. Well, supposedly it's the chances that it rains times, they've got a math equation here for you, times the area, the chances that it hits your area. So it's a whole equation they've worked with now.
And some people are under the understanding that 50% rain means that in your area, 50% of it will receive rain. I'm not a believer in that.
No. So I can give you a little more data on this because I looked it up. We'll get to it after this pitch. 1-2 pitch is a little bit away, and the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. So that does actually play into it. So the area it's the area, the chances it hits your area, times the chances that there's actually precipitation.
And how you would calculate that, I have no clue.
We just multiply them together. 2-2 pitch, line drive into left center. It's a base hit. It's going to go all the way to the wall. Zach Collier collects it there. It could be 3 bases, but a strong throw from Collier back to the shortstop holds Bautista at a double. So a leadoff double in the top of the 8th inning. And sometimes you wonder, you leave a pitcher out for the start of the next inning, and then there's a leadoff double. Did you leave him out a little bit too long? But Mills had been outstanding through the first 7 innings.
Yeah, he's really been terrific to this point in the game. And you mentioned it earlier, oftentimes you see a guy that was such a high prospect like Mackenzie Mills was. He was a 1-for-1 trade for Justin Bohr at one time when Bohr was in the MLB. So a guy that was that highly touted, you got to wonder, he has a couple good starts in a row. Maybe he is a prime candidate to get picked up.
Yeah, that was something that I was really thinking about earlier is, if someone like him pitches a few straight strong starts, it could be all you need to get him back to affiliated ball.
Right.
And then all of a sudden you find yourself saying, maybe you end up in the MLB at some point.
Great example of that. It's a guy like Brandon Barker, who had never pitched higher than AAA, was here in Southern Maryland last year, had a 5 ERA through his first 10 starts. He had 3 straight quality starts, got picked up by the Royals.
There it is. He most recently played with Jacksonville at the AA level. As we still await the first pitch. The hitter, Junior Santana. I do like that name, Junior.
It's a good one.
First pitch, big wave and a miss on a breaking ball, and the count 0-1.
If I'm him, I name my son that. It'd be Junior Junior.
That would be great.
It'd be great.
Is it Junior though?
Huh?
But is that like the Spanish version of Junior?
I don't know that it is.
I don't think it is, but maybe.
Could be.
Because there are people who name their kids Junior, I think.
Right.
As the 0-1 pitch, big wave and a miss on a breaking ball, count 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out. Runner on second base in the top of the 8th inning. The Blue Crabs with a healthy 7-1 edge in the top of the 8th. Well, the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs are on the brink of their 5th consecutive win. The 0-2 pitch, a little bit low. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Mackenzie Mills just threw his 103rd pitch of the evening. Now, Blue Crabs have a couple of guys that can go really deep into a start. We've seen guys like Lamson go 131, Thompson go 122. The pitch, swinging a foul tip, but DeLuca couldn't squeeze the glove on it. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Speaking of Darryl, he'll get the start tomorrow against the Barnstormers.
Darryl Thompson, Denson Hull, and Mitch Lamson, the 3 expected to go against the Barnstormers before the Blue Crabs hit the road. And they go back to play Staten Island, their first time in Staten Island this year. Ooh, that looked really good on the 1-2 pitch, but called the ball just a little outside.
So here's a question.
Yeah.
You taught me that you don't say in Long Island, you say on Long Island. Does that apply to Staten Island as well?
I think yes, but I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I've been to Staten Island once.
Got it.
I was in Staten. I actually have only been to Long Island technically. Well, depends on how you define Long Island. But the 2-2 pitch fouled back. I've been to Brooklyn a few times, and there are two boroughs. It's Brooklyn and what is the other borough that's on Long Island? We actually had a trivia question about this earlier. The Bronx may actually be on Long Island, although I might be wrong on that. But Brooklyn definitely is on Long Island. The 2-2 pitch low and in, and now the count 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Is it Queens?
I'm going to double check here.
I'd have to think it'd be on Staten Island because
I think so because you're on an island.
Taught me this phenomenon.
So it's Brooklyn and Queens. Those are the two.
When you first taught me this phenomenon, I wasn't buying it. Now I'm all in, but now I consider Staten Island, and it's tough.
Well, technically everything's an island, right?
That's true.
Like even the continents are islands of sorts. 3-2 pitch called strike 3. As Junior Santana goes down looking. And there is one away with a runner on second base and 1 out. Stan Clyburn walks out of the dugout. And that's going to do it for Mackenzie Mills. Stan Clyburn allows Mackenzie Mills to start the 8th inning. He earns a strikeout. He allows a double. His line not completely finished, but he does go 7 1/3 innings. He allows 3 hits. He is responsible for the runner on second base. He did not walk a batter all night long. What an accomplishment that is. Struck out 7 through 7 1/3. Unless he's going to try to convince him to keep him out here. I don't know if that's possible. But he's having a long conversation with Mackenzie Mills, and now Stan Clyburn officially signals to Nick Wells, another lefty who enters the ball game. And Mackenzie Mills gets fist bumps from the rest of the infield, gives Joe DeLuca a couple of taps on the chest protector, and that will do it for Mackenzie Mills. A terrific 7 1/3 innings, allowing just 1 run on 3 hits. It's Nick Wells who will enter the game. We'll break down the details on the lefty when we come back. It's 7-1 Blue Crabs. You're listening to Blue Crabs Baseball on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. I'll welcome you back in the top of the 8th inning. It is Nick Wells who takes the mound for the Blue Crabs after 7 1/3 from Mackenzie Mills. The first pitch is a little bit low, and the count, it's a called strike, I beg your pardon, the count 0-1. No, it is 1 ball and no strikes. The outfield scoreboard had it as a strike, but no, it is a ball, it is low. Count 1-0. Runner on second base. The 1-0 pitch. That's inside. Count 2 balls and no strikes. And Andrew, so far it's a pretty solid start for Nick Wells this year.
He's been fantastic. 2-1 with a 1.93 ERA in 17 2/3 innings. He struck out 20 batters, allowing just 12 hits and 4 runs.
Yeah, a really strong start for Wells. The 2-0 pitch, that's a called strike. Count 2 balls and 1 strike. And Andrew, he played in AA and AAA last year.
Yeah, he absolutely did. A guy that was fantastic last season in the Washington Nationals organization. Better in AA than he was AAA.
2-1 pitch. Just a little outside. Count 3-1. And that's another reason why some of these guys, you look at guys like Bradley Roney and Nick Wells, who've had such recent AA and AAA experience. And, you know, it just makes them significantly more likely to get picked back up by one of those teams that sees that they've started to perform well at the Atlantic League level. 3-1 pitch, fouled away, first base side, and the count 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Wells also a DMV native, originally from Alexandria, Virginia, so it gives him a really good connection. It's always good when guys can have their family, friends, parents come down and watch the games with just a 45-minute drive.
Exactly. We also had an author from Virginia come by and interview Nick Wells along with Eddie Butler.
David Driver.
As he's writing a book about baseball players from Virginia. This one swinging a high fly ball, deep center field, sends Collier back in front of the warning track where he makes the catch, tagging and going from second to third base. Well, that's Mario Bautista, who led off the inning with a double. A runner on third base with 2 outs. It brings up Kelsey Whitmore. Whitmore 0 for 2 today. She struck out twice. And it gives you an idea that she's only come to the plate for the 3rd time in this game in the top of the 8th inning with 2 outs. Just how well the Blue Crabs have done. First pitch upstairs, count 1 ball and no strikes.
Well, if you don't know Kelsey Whitmore's story, just give it a Google, search in her name. The New York Times just did a fantastic piece about Kelsey, a real trailblazer in the sports world.
1-0 pitch, big wave and a miss. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. She played for Team USA and was picked up by the Staten Island FerryHawks, the only female in professional baseball. As the 1-1 pitch is low and in, count 2 balls and 1 strike. She's also a two-way player. She hits and pitches.
Gets up to about 86 on the velo, which is real solid. I mean, especially in this league, we see a lot of guys throwing even slower than that. So
2-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Count 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The Blue Crabs with a 7-1 lead. From third base, it's Bautista. 2-2 pitch is up and away. Count 3 balls and 2 strikes. Kelsey Whitmore still searching for her first hit, though she does have 2 walks. Looking for her 3rd walk of the year. Pitch. Oh, it's a little outside. Well, I will tell you this. This is unbelievable. I spoke with Wes Mumford, who is the clubhouse manager for the game. He predicted a couple of strikeouts from Whitmore, and after that Mackenzie Mills exited the game, she would earn a walk. So she did just that, right on the money from Wes Mumford out in the clubhouse. So, you know, we've given him a couple of shout-outs throughout the year. He deserves one after this one. Now the first pitch is a little bit inside. Count 1 ball and no strikes on Antoine Duplantis, with runners on the corners and 2 outs. And the pitch, that one's a little bit outside, and the count 2 balls and no strikes on Duplantis. Runners on first and third with 2 outs in the top of the 8th inning. Nick Wells recorded the first out on a fly out to center, but then walked Kelsey Whitmore and is behind in the count. 2 balls and no strikes on Antoine Duplantis. 2-0. It's a called strike on the outside corner. Antoine Duplantis played in the New York Mets organization for a couple of seasons, most recently at the AA level, but did struggle in AA. As the 2-1 pitch is up and away, count 3-1. Whitmore from first. And over on third base is Mario Bautista. And Antoine Duplantis played all 4 years at LSU, had the all-time hits record at LSU. The 3-1 pitch is popped up foul behind home plate. A storied program like in the SEC, like LSU. He played under Coach Paul Maneri, the former coach at Notre Dame. And Notre Dame is now in the College World Series themselves, coached by Link Jarrett, who's done a terrific job. The College World Series begins tomorrow. Andrew, will you be watching?
Absolutely. I mean, I don't know why I wouldn't be.
Count 3-2. Pitch from Wells. Swing and a miss. Duplantis goes down swinging, and that ends the top of the 8th inning. Wells surrenders a walk. Staten Island strands a pair at the end of 7.5. It's 7-1 Blue Crabs. Stick with us. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning from Regency Furniture Stadium. It's Michael Wolanski who steps in from the right side. Well, Michael Wolanski has a couple of hits today. Had a ground ball single up the middle. And the Blue Crabs have 7 runs on 10 hits in today's ball game. First pitch, a called strike at the knees. And the count, no balls and 1 strike now on Michael Wolanski. Count, no balls and 1 strike on the righty. He'll be followed by Walker and the cleanup hitter, David Harris. The 0-1 pitch to Wolanski. That's up and in. Count, 1 ball and 1 strike from Victor Capeon, who is also the closer, or at least supposedly the closer for Staten Island. They don't really have anybody because there aren't all that many closing opportunities for Staten Island. They've only won 14 games. 14-34 so far for the new franchise. 1-1 pitch. Swinging a high pop-up right field side. That ball is falling into the seats. And it's tough for a lot of the new franchises to sort of start from scratch, Andrew. The Blue Crabs have 13 returning players this year.
No, you raise a really, really good point, and you got to get guys that either don't already have a connection or loyalty or what have you to their previous franchise, and makes things a lot harder.
It was really interesting what the Wild Health Genomes managed to do. And having so many major league players. Not only are they playing pretty well, but they have 10 former big leaguers, including Ryan Harper, who played in the MLB last year. 1-1 pitch, or 1-2 pitch, I should say. That's outside. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out. In a 4-game series, the umpires rotate 1 extra time, so where they were back in Game 1, they find themselves again in Game 4. 2-2 pitch on Wolanski. That's called strike 3. A bit of a tough call, but Mike Mackey rings up Michael Wolanski, who looks back at him, just had a couple of comments for him. And it's always a very gray area, Andrew, with players talking to the home plate umpires about balls and strikes.
Yeah, it really is, because obviously you can't say quite too much. I mean, oftentimes, as long as you're keeping things not too off the wall and, generally asking where was that as opposed to just trashing somebody, I think that's going to go a lot better for you. But to that point, I mean, umpires are humans, and the more you trash them, you never know. I mean, you might get a bad call next time. So
you might, and you also might find yourself thrown out of the ballgame.
You very well could.
I think you add the expletives into there, and it's not going to help your cause.
I don't think so.
First pitch. That's away for ball 1 on Jared Walker. No action in the Blue Crabs bullpen. You have to think maybe Nick Wells back out there. We saw Dario Polanco warming earlier. He'd be a good candidate to come in. Blue Crabs have a solid 6-run lead.
You talk about a guy in Jared Walker, Austin, somebody that started the season incredibly hot and then went on a little bit of a slump, and he's really picked it up of late. A guy that's starting to hit the long ball again. The average is starting to rise once more. At one point, it was down near 230, entering today up near 270.
Yeah, he's really started to put together some good at-bats. Last pitch was fouled off. Count 1 ball and 1 strike now on Walker. 1-1 pitch, called strike at the knees. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes. David Harris will be followed by Alex Crosby if necessary. Crosby extended his hit streak to 7 games today. Wolanski's streak to 11 games. The 1-2 pitch upcoming to Jared Walker. The pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out. Walker goes down swinging, and there are 2 outs. Now the Blue Crabs, top of the lineup, 1 through 5, have come through in a big way. They have a combined 8 hits, as they are 8 for 20. They've also scored 5 runs, or I beg your pardon, 7 runs. All 7 runs coming through 1 through 5. Batters 6 through 9 have just 2 hits, as they are 2 for 12. First pitch is inside. Count 1 ball and no strikes on David Harris. Nobody on with 2 away, as the Blue Crabs have really found some run support in the last few games, especially. Sometimes late, sometimes early, and they just sort of find their hero with whoever it is up and down this lineup. And every day it's a different player. 1-0 pitch came way up and in, well, actually behind David Harris, and he seemed a little bit stunned that the ball missed by that much. And the count 2 balls and no strikes. I'd probably be stunned myself if the ball found its way behind me.
I would too. He almost froze for a second there, as if like, wait, did that not hit me but go behind me?
was 92 miles an hour on a sinker, so I think you just want to get out of the way of that ball.
Good thing it sunk out of the way of hitting him.
Yeah. Victor Capellan has thrown 11 pitches through 2/3 of an inning. Oh, we do have the final line now on Mackenzie Mills. This is his third consecutive really good start. We'll get those numbers to you in just one moment. Capellan taking quite a while out there on the mound. 2-0. Line drive up the middle for a base hit. David Harris with his third hit of the day. He is 3 for 5.
And what more can you say about David Harris, a guy that's right there in the mix for one of the best at averages in the Atlantic League, up there in RBIs as well. Somebody that's really, really brought it every day this season.
He has. Let's get back toward the pitching side of things with Mackenzie Mills. We said we'd give him the final line. Let's follow through on that. 7 1/3 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, no walks, 7 strikeouts. And Ian Yetzko is pinch running for David Harris. But going back to Mackenzie Mills there with the 7 1/3 innings, 3 hits, 1 run. In his last 2 starts, he'd gone 15 innings combined, 4 hits, 2 runs, just 2 walks. So now 23 innings, he's allowed 3 runs and 2 walks, Andrew. It's just, you can't say enough good things about it.
Remarkable.
Well, the first pitch to Alex Crosby is low and in. Count 1 ball and no strikes. What do you think, that it's Nick Wells going back out there for everything we see here?
I'm thinking it is. I don't see any more action. I would tend to think so.
1-0. A little bit away. Count 2 balls and no strikes. Bottom of the 8th inning. We're glad that everybody is sticking with us. Zach Collier on deck. It's Alex Crosby at the plate with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. Victor Capellan. The 2-0 offering. Called strike. Count 2 balls and 1 strike now. And Andrew, we've talked about the Wild Health Genomes, another team joining the Atlantic League next year as the league continues to show some growth.
Yeah, that's right. The Hagerstown team that's going to be in Maryland. We don't know their name yet. Used to be the Hagerstown Suns, but it's going to be really exciting.
2-1 pitch is away. Count 3 balls and 1 strike.
It's going to be cool also to have a Maryland rival. With that being said, they're way closer to Lancaster than they are to Waldorf.
Count 3 balls and 1 strike. Three-one pitch, ground ball over towards short. Fielded by the shortstop Reyes. Throw to first base is in time. We were joined by a spider here in the booth. And that ends the bottom of the 8th inning. It's 7-1 Blue Crabs as they lead the FerryHawks, and we go to the top of the 9th. You're listening to Blue Crabs Baseball on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. In the top of the 9th inning, the Blue Crabs return to Nick Wells as he faces off against 2, 3, and 4, Javier Betancourt, followed by the middle of the order with Angel Aguilar and Dilson Herrera. First pitch is low for ball 1 in the top of the 9th. 7-1, the Blue Crabs lead the FerryHawks. We're going to go through the last of the shout-outs as the 1-0 pitch is low. Well, Blazer Bobcat, it's been a long time since we've heard from you, but it's great to hear from you. Watching and listening from Albany, Georgia, what's the official magic number for the Blue Crabs to clinch the North Division as the 2-0 pitch called strike, count 2 balls and 1 strike. And he asks, what is the magic number? The magic number is 6 for the Blue Crabs. Been talking a little bit about the magic number throughout the evening as the 2-1 pitch is low, count 3 balls and 1 strike. And we hear from Wes Mumper. He says, lucky guess. Dennis Moore says that we should be joined by an opossum in the booth. We talked about the spider we were joined by, but opossums are definitely another creature that could join us. You never know. 3-0 pitch is away, ball 4. We saw, I know, opossum just right by the ballpark the other day. I was outside. I was driving home. And you'll see them sometimes. There are not a lot of them around here, but at night if you're driving home, not on the, in Regency Furniture Stadium or around or on the property here, but if you go down the road a little bit here, there's some wooded areas and you'll see them crossing the road from time to time. Runner on first base with nobody out. Happy to have you with us this evening as the pitch gets away from the catcher, Joe DeLuca. And that allows Javier Betancourt to advance to second base following his walk. As Angel Aguilar steps back in. The Staten Island FerryHawks are officially eliminated. They are 22 and a half games back. They were eliminated after their loss on Tuesday night. As the Blue Crabs inch closer towards securing that first half North Division title. The 1-0 pitch is low. Count 2 balls and no strikes. Nick Wells gets a sign from his catcher, Joe DeLuca. Here is the 2-0 pitch. Called strike. Count 2 balls and 1 strike. Andrew was mentioning the New Hagerstown team coming into the league. The geography is going to be interesting with the North and the South divisions and all of that, but still a lot of fun. 2-1 pitch, line drive, left center field, long run for Collier, and he lays out toward the warning track and makes a terrific catch. And now they're going to send the runner, or now they're going to hold him up. Betancourt was briefly sent around third before they applied the brakes. It took a long time for Collier to get there, but he made a terrific catch over his shoulder, diving toward the warning track. And now there is one away. Well, that's what Collier brings. A lot of ground he can cover out in center field. Well, Angel Aguilar goes down in a long fly out toward left center, and it brings up Dilson Herrera. Well, there's really no other way to put it, but he's had a tough time since re-entering the Atlantic League. Herrera, so far this season, has an .094 batting average, 3 for 33. As the first pitch is upstairs in the count, 1 ball and no strikes on the righty Herrera. Well, Mackenzie Mills set up the Blue Crabs well. Now it's Nick Wells' chance to send them down as the 1-0 pitch is, or the 2-0 pitch. The 1-0 pitch is away. Count 2 balls and no strikes. 2 balls, no strikes, 1 out. 2-0 offering. Foul ball, first base side. And the count remains 2 balls, and the count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike, I should say. Well, the temperatures are lower this evening. And we're going to be faced with mid-90s tomorrow. You got to get ready for that. Blue Crabs will turn to Darrell Thompson. The 2-1 pitch, pop up behind home plate. Long run for DeLuca, who can't quite get there. And the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. We're going to run back through the runs in today's ball game. Scoring started for the Blue Crabs in the first. It was Michael Wolanski who ripped a triple down the right field line. Scored Jack Sundberg, who walked to get things going. Sundberg singled in the third, and was Jared Walker, whose 2-run shot gave the Blue Crabs a 4-0 lead at the time. Angel Aguilar, the lone run off of Mackenzie Mills tonight over 7 1/3 innings. He had a solo shot to left. The bottom of the 5th, the Blue Crabs got 2 back, a 2-run shot and a line drive from David Harris. And the 2-2 pitch, a swing and a miss from Dilson Herrera. His struggles at the plate continue. Former big leaguer, but more recently he has struggled at the plate. And for someone like Herrera, though, it's one of those times when it's just a matter of time before you break out from one of those really tough slumps. And every player is going to go through it at some point in their career. But it's the ability to break out of that slump that makes a major difference. First pitch to the 5-hitter. That's Alfredo Reyes, who fouls back the first pitch, deflecting off the shin pad of the catcher Joe DeLuca. The Blue Crabs poised to win their 5th consecutive game. They will move to 14-1 in series wins. And the 0-1 pitch looked awfully good, but called a ball by Mike Mackey, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. I can't tell you where it missed. Maybe a little bit outside, maybe a little bit high, but it looked pretty darn good. 1-1 pitch, a little bit inside. Count 2 balls and 1 strike. We'll let you know where the TrackMan technology tells us where that ball ended up. We're going to run you back through the scoring, though. Zach Collier gave the Blue Crabs a 7-1 lead in the 7th on a single to center field, scoring Alex Crosby. 2-1 pitch. Now that's a called strike. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes. The TrackMan technology says it was, in fact, a strike. It clipped the upstairs and outer part of the zone, but not even touching the corners of the strike zone, was fully inside the strike zone. Count 2 balls and 2 strikes on Alfredo Reyes, the runner on third base. Here's the pitch. Foul ball, the netting back behind home plate. And they count 2 balls and 2 strikes on Reyes. Nick Wells will enter the ball game. Runner on third base with 2 outs. The Blue Crabs looking to put the FerryHawks away without scoring another run. 2-2 pitch, swinging a 1-hopper to second. It's picked up now by Wolanski. Throw to first. He got him. Oh, what a play. Michael Wolanski ends it with some terrific work with the glove. He didn't get it on the first try. It popped back up. Then he snagged it with a bare hand and threw to first in time to prevent the FerryHawks from scoring their second run. Well, the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs win it tonight. We'll run you through some of their new numbers, having won 5 consecutive wins. They overall moved to 38-12 after playing 50 games on the year. They have a 13-game lead. It will remain a 13-game lead over the Long Island Ducks. The magic number is just 5. In night games, they're 31-11. They've won 5 straight, 8 of their last 10 games. In season finales, they are 13-3. This team has won 14 series. They've lost 1. They have split 1. When the Blue Crabs score first, like they did tonight, they are 19-2. They score more than 3. They are 30-6. This is a team that continues to roll throughout the month of June, where they are 12-3. Blue Crabs have outscored opponents by 107 runs this season. Across 50 games, to see the team go 38-12, it's like nothing else. This team winning at home, they've been winning on the road. The Blue Crabs home road splits officially. The Blue Crabs are 21-3 at home. They are 17-9 on the road. Both numbers terrific. The home number even better, obviously, but if you're winning 2/3 of your games on the road, or nearly 2/3, says a lot about your ball club. The Blue Crabs 38-12. Their magic number is just 5. There are 16 games to go in the first half. We are happy that you've decided to join us tonight. We'll run you back through the pitchers and some of the big players in tonight's ball game before signing off, and we'll rejoin you tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. For the Blue Crabs, big hitters tonight. Jack Sundberg 1 for 3, but he walked twice, scored 2 runs, on base 3 times. Michael Wolanski was 2 for 4. He also drove in a run, and he walked once, as he had the RBI triple back in the first inning. It was Jared Walker who had a 2-run home run earlier in today's ball game. Back in the third, he was 1 for 5 overall, but the big shot played a big role. David Harris 3 for 5 today. He also scored a run and drove in 2. Alex Crosby 2 for 5 today. He scored a run. Zach Collier, I should say. Alex Crosby, Zach Collier had a 1 for 3 night when he drove in a run. He also walked. Joe DeLuca was 1 for 2. He walked twice in tonight's ball game. He's hitting .299 on the year. Now to bring you through some of the pitchers in tonight's ball game. There are only 2 pitchers for the Blue Crabs. Mackenzie Mills, 7 1/3 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run. He struck out 7, allowed only 1 run. It came from the long ball over the mini monster in left field. Nick Wells had a little bit more trouble tonight. He went 1 2/3 innings. He did not allow a hit. He walked 2 batters. He struck out 2, did not allow a run tonight. Blue Crabs win 7-1 over Staten Island. We'll run you through the Staten Island pitchers quickly. It was Dakota Freeze who got the start, and it was trouble from the start from Freeze. 4 2/3 innings, 6 hits, 6 runs, 6 earned. He walked 5 batters in 4 2/3 innings, 11 base runners over the course of 4 2/3. The game prior, he went 5 innings, allowed just 6 base runners, so 11 base runners compared to 6. They then brought in Alex Katz. He went 1/3 of an inning, struck out 1. Joe Kuzia went an inning, allowed 1 hit, 1 walk, did not allow a run. Connor Law pitched an inning. He allowed 3 hits and earned run. He also walked 1. He struck out 2, and Victor Capellan finished the ball game for Staten Island. Went 1 inning of work. He struck out 2. He allowed 1 hit. We'll bring you through the scoring plays once more as the Blue Crabs got the scoring going. A line drive single from Michael Wolanski down the right field line. That brought home Sundberg. Wolanski later scored on a wild pitch. That was the game-winning run. Came way back in the first inning. It was Jared Walker who hit a 2-run shot, his 11th home run of the year to right field. Angel Aguilar then hit his 9th home run over the wall in left center. That cut the lead to 4-1. David Harris hit his 7th homer of the year over the wall in left. That gave the Blue Crabs a 6-1 lead, and the Blue Crabs tallied on their final run on an RBI single to center field from Zach Collier, giving the Blue Crabs a 7-1 lead. The Blue Crabs 38-12, 13-game lead in the division, and they will take on the Lancaster Barnstormers tomorrow night. We thank everybody for watching this evening on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Those of you watching from Staten Island, those of you watching from Southern Maryland, Blue Crabs will be back at it tomorrow at the Reg at 6:35. Have a terrific night, everybody, and as always, let's go Blue Crabs.